Perhaps we need some outside universal threat to make us recognize this common bound. I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Spaced Out Radio tonight as we dip into the paranormal pool, talking ghosts, spirits, hauntings, you name it. Stephen Erkintalo from Florida, he is going to join us talking about Florida ghosts. Dirty Filth is here with another cartoon, and we say hello to all of you. We got Nightmare in the gold medal positions, Sugar Britches with the silver, Kathy Evans in a bronze medal tonight. Hi, race fan. How you doing? Out of medal contention for the first time in like 2 months. I don't know how you do it. Robert Lamothe, Raymond L., Nancy Hayes, Brown Dwarf. Good to see you all. Human Carl is here, a great veteran of the United States Air Force. Thank you for your service, Human Carl. We love you, man. See you in Vegas. Also seeing you in Vegas, Obi Fled. Can't wait, buddy. 2 weeks tonight. 2 weeks tonight for the second annual fan party. Paramarv, Stephanie Kenny Blankenship. How are you? D. Cohen, Sugar Britches, and Laura Lobbs. Donna, thank you for coming on in. James Weston, Bigfoot Rob, Dirty Filth. Nice to see you all in the chat room. Sweet Donna Spencer. We love you around here. Nancy Hayes, and number 12 in your program, number 1 in your hearts, starting at right wing from Stockholm, Sweden, Lars Jansson. W. David Page, good to see you. Dogface Simon. Grantavius Maximus is here. Yeah, the lip blade will be signing autographs after the show. Light up to the left of the studio, if you don't mind. To the left of the studio. Susie B., how are you? Good to see you. See you in Vegas. Pat Toohey. Izzy Beth, how are you? Welcome to SOR Chat again. Izzy Beth will be signing autographs after the show as well. Line up to the right of the studio, if you don't mind. To the right of the studio. To Mothman, what's happening, my man? We'll see you in Vegas. And let's see here. Desert Rat, Asteroid. Doug Shelby is here. The Doug Shelby has arrived, so we can officially start this show. We'll see Doug Shelby in Vegas. Pixie Lara, we'll see you in Vegas as well. And Boss Monster, the lovely Cat Chaser, TMI, Dave Walters. Good to have you all here. Chillgasm, Mike Bothwell, nice to have you both here. Hello, Allison Singh, how are you? And let's continue on with roll call. Melissa Nicole, good to see you again. Emmy Tong and Ozzy Ozzy, oi oi to you. Jerry O'Brien, nice to have you back, man. And who else do we have here scrolling on? Joey Zed, thank you for joining us. And let's see here. Who else do we got? Scrolling on down. Logan L., nice to have you back, buddy. And let's see. Shall we? Let's. All right, we got all that. Now let's go. Boss Monster, what's happening? And Area 51, United We Stand. How are you guys? We got about a minute to go here. 1 minute. 1 minute countdown. Science Melinda from Australia. Thank you for joining us. Blue Cruise, good to see you. Jessica, thank you for coming on in. And I think we're all caught up right now. All right, it is that time again where we're going to start the radio side. That way we can get Bill WD-40 into the chat room so he can lube us up for tonight's show, because you always want to go into a show nice and lubed up and smooth. Makes it easier. Barbara Parker, how are you? Sparky says hi. Okay, I love Sparkles. And who else do we have here? Deb from Sac, thank you for joining us. Yeah. Super Chat is open. It's a wonderful way to support what we do on this show on a nightly basis. Also open is our store on our website, spacedoutradio.com. Go get yourself some really fun, cool swag. Thank you, Cat Chaser, for kicking off the Super Chat tonight. Very much appreciate the love. Oob to Joe's Main, you've got aliens. And let's see. I'm almost ready to go here. I'm pretty pumped up. Steve Erkintalo is our guest. We're going to have a good time with him. See what Dirty Filth draws up as well. So, with 9 seconds to go, it is that time of the night where I ask of you a favor. Get your horns up. Let's rock. From the mountains of central British Columbia to you listening around the world, this, my friends, is Spaced Out Radio. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. We welcome you to tonight's show on our terrestrial affiliates around North America, digitally on Odyssey Radio, TalkStream Live, and KPNL. All of our archives are free. Join us at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do old Davey the favor, hit that subscribe button. You can follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio, Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show, and on TikTok at Spaced Out Radio. Our website, spacedoutradio.com. We have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot, read the news wire, check out our swag as well. Tonight's show is brought to you by Chive Charities. Help make the world 10% happier by visiting Chive Charities today. You can find them on our website. It's a night of paranormal tonight. All the way from Florida, paranormal investigator Steve Erkintalo is going to tell us some spooky stories. Then in hour number 3, we're going to head over to Steve Stockton for another weird report. Super Duke is here for the cryptid report. It's Dave 101 night, and we will get to the strange news of the week as well. Steve Erkintalo is a Pokemon catching, pillow fort building, talk to a ghost as they sometimes whisper back kind of guy. He was born and raised in Florida, a visionary for creativity, an individual who once believed in ghosts, but now he believes in something much larger than the simplicity of everything being labeled a ghost just because it cannot be explained by the individual experiencing it. Steve's an author, producer, mentor, and inspiration to many, and dedicated to a field where the unknown lingers between a realm of unknown possibilities and the reality of possibility. Steve Erkintalo, it's been a while since we had you on Spaced Out Radio, but man, I'm glad you're back. How you been?
Yes, very well. Thank you for having me again. I know it's been about 2 years, give or take, roughly. So I'm excited to be back. I was excited when you messaged me and said, you ready to do this? Let's do it. So I was absolutely, I love the show. So always a fan.
Well,
I know, by the way, that bio, what's that?
Always a fan of yours too, my man.
Yes, thank you. That bio is funny because I honestly don't know where it came from. I don't know who created it. I mean, it's accurate. It's very accurate. So somebody must have wrote that and they put it on my IMDb for me because I didn't even know how that got created either. And I logged on one day, or not logged on, but I went to IMDb because somebody said, man, you got an IMDb. That's so cool. And I checked it out and I saw the bio and I just started laughing because it's very accurate. I must have made a Facebook post or a status somewhere with that and someone just took it. And I love it. It sticks. It stuck. And you said it perfectly.
Well, you know what? You are an anomaly in the paranormal field because you're very outspoken. You're very individualistic. You're somebody who is out there for the best of the community, whether people agree with you or not. Why have you become such a controversial voice in the paranormal field?
That's a good question. I really don't know the answer to it, but I can tell you what I did to transition into why I believe people did. And so I started out like everybody else. You hear the bumps in the night, you grow up seeing things, hearing things, and you don't know what to believe. And one day, I'm very bad with my time frame, but we'll just say 10 years ago, give or take, I was watching Ghost Adventures and thought I can do this, but better because of what I've experienced. So I got a digital voice recorder, a spirit box, I created a team called Superior Paranormal with one other friend. And we just, we did the simplicity of it, like just so simple. Like there's a lady in white. Can you make it knock? Oh, can you make a noise? And something in Casadega, Florida. I don't know if anyone's familiar with that. There's a hotel called Casadega Hotel in Casadega, Florida. And it's a spiritualist camp. And it's a wonderful thing. It's a very small town, and there's a hotel there. Part of that burnt down, and two little girls died during the fire. While we were there outside of the gift shop, where supposedly one of the girls would just hang out, me and my buddy at the time, he was standing to the right of me, and I was to the left of him. We heard a hello. We turn around, nobody's there. It was this little girl's voice. Nobody was there. So we freaked out. We thought that was amazing. That changed everything for me. I no longer wanted to worry about the nice, kind little things. And is there a person in white? Is there a little girl here? Can you roll this ball? Something in my head switched. And I said, there's something, maybe because that was my first like experience as an adult rather than a child. My brain is fully functional at this point, and the consciousness is well aware of what I know that I heard, and I wasn't hallucinating or anything. So I know right then and there something was deeper, something was happening. And I figured all of our answers come from something darker. Why did I believe that? I have no idea. Why do I still believe that? I cannot tell you why. But we'll skip a few years because I went through a lot of hate when I started speaking about this and doing other podcasts and questioning what everybody else was doing. Your K2 meters are inaccurate. Let me educate you on those. This is inaccurate. Let me educate you on this. And people just did not like that. They did not like that I was breaking away from their mold and their form. And what blows my mind about that is nobody even knows the truth. Nobody has any idea. This is all a very opinionated field. 2 + 2 = 4. Red light means stop. Green light means go. Nobody has a definitive answer when it comes to what the paranormal is. And for some reason, that just stirred up a whole bunch of commotion. And I remember wanting to dabble into a Ouija board. We're going to skip a couple more years. Now we're going to skip maybe 4 or 5 years, right? And I remember doing a Ouija board session live on Facebook. And so many people threw a fit about that, right? I didn't understand the big deal about it. I'm like, it's the alphabet. It's literally in every elementary school. 1, 2, 3s and your ABCs. I have no idea what the problem is. And I was at that point getting so much backlash with the blogs written about me. I'm talking about thousands and thousands. We're going to 10,000s of people were just messaging me here, trying to get me banned from this. And this was before I used the Ouija board. So I really don't understand what it is. It could be how I present myself later on. Like as the time goes and these questions get asked, people are going to see the difference between my passion. Like it's going to explode. And you're probably going to be able to tell me why people think that I'm so controversial, because it's my delivery. Because there's no in between. It's like, this is what it is. And everybody's going to see that getting elevated throughout the time frame here. But I remember using a Ouija board, and my grandma one day, I stopped working. I stopped doing it because I was getting really bashed, really bullied. It was becoming very overwhelming for me. And my grandma said, what is wrong? She knew something is wrong. She knew this was my passion. And I explained to her what's going on. And she said things that I can't say on air, but she's like, pretty much just do it your way. That's it. You're not doing, like, what, who cares? People hate you. They're still watching. Do it your way. That right there made me realize she's absolutely correct. So what I did was I went live on social media with the Ouija board again. This time I decided to cut myself with a razor blade. The first time this has ever, as far as I know, ever been done in the history of the paranormal, documented, not in a Hollywood movie, not in any of this stage stuff, like a real legit 100% live on Facebook. I grabbed a razor blade, I cut my hand, and I dripped blood all over the Ouija board. You want to talk about head spinning in the field and things getting shut down? I'm talking about locations started banning me. People started really in uproar. And that's when I would say I went from one level to another level. And then Haunted Tours came to me, which was a show that was on Amazon with the Jalbert brothers. And they wanted the most extreme controversial investigator. And I took it to another level on that show, which was amazing, where I put the gun to my head cocked the trigger, put the gun in my mouth, told the spirits to blow my brains out all over the wall, put the noose around my neck. And I laid on a live train track because a little girl died at the train tracks on the train track. So I lied on a live train tracks, arms out, Ouija board across my chest. Here comes it. You could hear the train is coming. Like the actual tracks were vibrating. I drowned myself in Edinburgh Manor. And there's something I want to talk about with you too. I don't remember what, we won't get into it right now, but I remember a conversation we had that I told you. And I, honest to God, I kept my word with this. If you remember what I said that I was going to do the last time we had an interview, the experiment that I was going to do, and I did it. And you told me that once I do it, I have to promise you that I'm the first person that you get to interview and see how it went. Do you remember what that was? It's been 2 years, so I don't blame you if you don't.
I remember the conversation, but the actual test, I don't remember.
All right, get this. So I'm going to be doing this more and more this year. 5 locations have already been booked, and I got a lot of big news that I can talk about, but I can't talk about. But if you remember, I was going to do DMT. I smoked DMT.
That's right.
And I stitched the deceased human's teeth right into my side. I literally stitched human teeth into my side from the dead. Did DMT, filmed the whole entire thing. And I've never talked about it. I posted about it. I did post and say I stitched human teeth into my side, but I never talked about doing DMT with it. And I never posted the results. I have all of them on this phone. I never aired it. I never did anything. I never edited anything because I told you and I promised you, and I did this 2 years ago, and I promised you that I'm not going to talk about it until we get on the show together. So I have not released the footage. I have not edited the footage because I wanted to stay true to that. But I do have it. And it was different. I can tell you that much. DMT, I don't know if people know what DMT is, but I'm pretty sure a lot of people of your fans do, being, UFO people, cryptology and consciousness and paranormal. And it was an interesting trip when I did it. And I had a shaman there with me professionally, smoked it. And you want to talk about it now, or we could talk about it a different time?
Let's just go with it. We're already here. Let's take it on.
Right. So I remember being there, and I did the DMT. I sat down. First, I did the DMT. Well, I stitched first. I was like, okay, I have nothing to numb myself with. What am I going to use? I need these teeth stitched into me. So I got some wart remover, so it could just freeze the area, like make it numb. By the way, that does not work. So I felt every bit of the pain of the needle going into me to stitch these teeth into my side. And then I smoked the DMT, and I went to fall backwards because you're supposed to lay back, of course. And the shaman walks around playing an instrument, a harmonica, really peaceful, really everything. So I'm laying there. I smoked enough DMT to like kill a rhino in every animal in Africa. Like I sat up, which I wasn't supposedly supposed to. They took my blood pressure. My blood pressure was through the roof. And they were like, if you want to do more, we could do more. I was like, let's do it, because I want to experience this. I felt my body leaving my body, but it wasn't fully extendingly leave. However, I will tell you what changed was, and I'm kind of disappointed in this. I hate that this did not work the way I wanted it to. So I'm going to do it again. But I think I'm going to do it with LSD and a lot of it. But anyways, when I did it the second time, I didn't even fall back or anything. I stood up, and I'm not even kidding you. And this is all on video, I'm not even kidding you. I was standing more firm up. I swear I was taller. My build was bigger. I already have muscle and everything. I felt like I was bigger on video. When I watched it, I was speaking more intelligently. I was pronunciating words flawlessly. And I was more, I don't think I've ever been more aware in my entire life of anything. And I don't know if that was supposed to happen, because every time I've studied it, I did a lot of research before doing it. And I've seen people roll over and throw up. I've seen people, they're gone for 15 minutes and they wake up and they change their entire lifestyle because they had the world's greatest awakening. Me, on the other hand, I'm literally, it was a different, unique experience that I wasn't ready for, because it did the complete opposite from what I've been told. And that's pretty much it. I did not review the footage to know. I did do a spirit box session. I did do some EVPs. I did do things, but I never reviewed the footage because I didn't want to know and get excited and then break my promise to you and go post it and blast it. So I was like, I just gotta not talk about it. And it's been out of my mind. So when you first messaged me saying, hey, you want back on the show? Instantly I thought of DMT, stitching human teeth. Finally, okay. I can maybe release this.
So tell our audience why you would stitch human teeth to your body for a paranormal investigation.
So I feel like, okay, so human teeth are pretty much just the bone of that human, which is part of their energy. It's part of their residual energy. Part of something is still within that, in that density of that. It's not dead. You know, it may not have a nerve. It may not have anything, but it's not, it hasn't, I guess, not decapitated. It hasn't, what is it? What is what I'm looking for? Whenever you're laying down in a cemetery and pretty much you're dead and your body is just a corpse and bone and ash at this point. None of that occurred with the teeth. So in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, let me see if I could stitch it into my energy, my consciousness, my thought patterns, flooding through my blood, my bones, my DNA, everything, and releasing it. Maybe that's going to also release it into my consciousness, and I can tap into all of these dead people that I have stitched into me. And that's where I was going with it. That was the point behind it all. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And there was nothing more than just, I want to see if I could bring these people back to life through my consciousness, and their subconsciousness can somehow just regain, even if it's like 0.5% just into me, or say something or anything. And that was it. That was the point. And man, I'm so excited. I'm so excited to talk about what's coming up because it's even more ridiculous.
There's probably a lot of people listening in right now who are wondering, what the hell is this guy all about? You know, trying to drown himself, trying to hang himself, sewing teeth to his hips. Like, why do you push that physical limit so far?
Well, so the paranormal has been around since, I mean, let's just, we'll go with 50 years. Let's just give it a number, right? We'll say 50 years. It's been on TV. We've seen every TV show, and they're doing the same thing. We're not getting results. Nothing is occurring. You know, we're hearing the same stuff, YouTube, same stuff. And in my mind, I'm like, okay, what if I recreate how somebody died? What if I just do it? Like, instead of bringing a teddy bear for a little girl to play with because she felt suicidal, or whoever, whatever the reasoning that this little girl killed herself, I'm just giving an example. Instead of bringing a teddy bear for her to play with, why don't I just get a noose, put it around my neck, and hang myself exactly where this individual hung themselves? And the crazy thing about it is, it works. It works. When I drowned myself in Edinburgh Manor, I did that in the tubs. I walked up I don't know if whoever's been in Edinburgh Manor, but those flights are not easy. I walked all the way outside to fill this bucket, a huge fucking gallon thing up, walked all the way upstairs, dumped the water. I had to do about 20 trips. The back of my shirt was soaked by the time, and we filmed it all. And that was a punishment for the people who would like bite the staff, or they thought that they had a mental disability. They would actually push them underwater. So I was like, okay, let me attempt that. Maybe that will bring the residual energy out, right? And the same thing for when I put the gun in my mouth and cocked the trigger, and Ybor City at the Cuban Club here in Florida, there was a situation where a guy walked in, and I guess he was embezzling money, and the guy pulled out a gun, shot him, blew his brains all over the wall. Okay, I can work with that. Give me a gun. Let me put it in my mouth. Tell the spirits to pull the trigger. The crazy thing about that is this one took it to a new level because I actually had bullets in the gun. The producer said, yeah. You got to take the bullets out of the gun, because I really had this thing cocked back, ready to go. And so there's that. And I will tell you this. I will tell you a good story about how this does actually work. When I was at Bobby Mackey's, which is my paranormal hotspot, go-to place always, right? I know the history like the back of my hand there, and that's in Wilder, Kentucky. when you're downstairs where the well area is, there's actually 3 dressing rooms as well. There was a rumor that Johanna got pregnant, and the dad was a mobster guy there. She lied about who got her pregnant because she didn't want the dad to kill him, right? So what they did is they hung a man in the dressing room, supposedly. So I hung myself, right? Put the noose around my neck, choked. I actually bruised my esophagus too for a very long time for doing that. I had cameras in front of me. You could see the recorder behind me, right? I'm asking questions. Once we were done, I asked my buddy Brad to grab the recorder while everybody's still watching, pulls it right up. We listened to it live right there and play it back. While asking these questions, you could hear someone run up on the camera and like scream into it, right? Then that's not even the best part. The best part was, and this is on my YouTube. You can go look it up, Conjuring Mackies, and you can hear it say, while the noose is around my neck, you got the wrong person. Nobody touched the recorder. This isn't something where we took it home, we put it into our filing system, we manipulated it, we did whatever. This is right here live. You see our reactions and everything happening. And it clear as day says, you got the wrong person. That blew my mind because it correlated so perfectly with what the story tells you about how Joanna lied about who it was. So, man, the more that I keep doing this, and the intensity aspects of this, the more I'm getting better results than I've ever gotten, than anybody that I know has ever gotten. And what's crazy is I'm hated for this. Like, I'm hated for doing something completely unique, completely different. I'm not even hurting these people that are hating me. They're just hating me. And what I'm doing isn't even interfering in their life. So I'm just like, I'm going to keep doing it because it works. And I enjoy it. So I love it. I mean, when I cut myself live on my Facebooks, which I don't go live on Facebook too much anymore, but I'm going to start here next week, actually. And I cut myself, bleed on my Ouija board, grab human ashes, real human ashes right in the hand, sprinkle them on my Ouija board. Spirit box time. Let's do it. And man, the results are phenomenal. So I don't know why people hate me. I don't know why people hate it. And all it does.
Well, I think it's probably because you're pushing limits to what you want to do. But anything different seems to be, if you're not out of that cookie cutter box,
yeah,
you are in an area where, people don't like that. I mean, everybody wants that easy EVP or whatever it may be. And yet you're pushing limits. But on the flip side, I would assume, and this is just an opinion here, that they're not appreciative of pushing the limits that far because they've seen people who've made mockeries, and I'm not saying you are, so don't take it that way. Okay, but they've seen people make mockeries of the paranormal, like when a famous person dies, immediately rushing to YouTube within hours and going live with a ghost box session saying that you're conjuring up Robin Williams or Whitney Houston or whoever else has died, and you're the first one to get communication with them on the other side. Well, it doesn't work that way, So people tend to have opinions that one size of a shoe fits all.
Right. We're not going to name drop any names, but I got an idea of who you're talking about because I got into it with a couple of them by stating what you stated. But yeah, and I do agree with you 100%. Like, I could take the easy route and ask somebody to roll a ball. Can you roll this ball, little girl? Oh, you rolled it. Yes. Where's my 100 million followers and my 10,000 likes? You
got that right. Steve Erkintalo, the wild man of the paranormal. We love him around here. He's a good friend. And we'll get into some more of his zany paranormal experiences and experiments when we return on Spaced Out Radio. Stay tuned. Second half hour is next. All right, you got to do something for our YouTube channel. You got to show your chest. Yeah.
I shouldn't even have put my shirt on then.
Come on, do it. I got you on the big camera here.
All right, hold on.
Look at that.
So you can see that, like, So I'm a product of what I represent, right? So I actually tattoo the Ouija board on my chest. You can see the planchette here. I believe right here, it's like backwards on me. What? Goodbye, the moon, the sun.
You need to shave your chest, man. You're way too hairy.
I agree. Thank you. I thought so.
Thanks for doing that.
Like, of course. But yes, so I literally do like, so I mean, I guess like in a way, I guess I kind of put my money where my mouth is, right? When it comes to being a product of it. I'll tell you why I tattooed it on once we go
Save
back.
that for the show. Yeah, when we come back, you know, to the radio audience, I'll ask you that question.
I'm trying to see what he's drawing there.
Let's see. What's Dirty Filth up to here? Well, it looks like there's an alien, a man in black, a Sasquatch so far, and Dirty Filth himself.
Yeah, I Mary sued myself into a drawing, Dave.
You do sometimes.
Only when it's accurate.
True. I love this comment. Tattooed Ouija board and swole. This dude Nephilim.
Who's that? Donnie? Thank you.
Yeah. There is the Cat Chaser. Thank you again for another great super chat. That's 2 for you. Derek, Donnie, Cho, and Lara, thank you for the super chats as well. Allison Singh. Yes, we're going to actually, I'm working on a show, Allison, right now for the Hat Man. I am working on a show for that very soon. And Bobo, how you doing, man? The lovely and talented Amber Dawn Glover. Give us a wave, Amber. We'll all wave back. There you go. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, we got about 2.5 minutes, brother.
2.5.
Hello, one hot tamale. And the lovely Deb from SAC. Thank you for adding to the super chat. Very much appreciate your love and support, Deb. Yay. Max Stacks, how are you? Lee the Bee, what's happening? Free your mind, how are you? Lots of people still coming in.
Man, where are you seeing all these names at? I don't see anything.
Well, you're on your phone, so you'd have to move your camera side in order to click on the chat.
So I have to just start pushing buttons.
But I got it all lined up here. 160 so far. Let's see here. We got about 90 seconds. I got a haircut today. I'll show you guys. I really got pared down today. Holy cow. Look at the sides there.
Oh, very nice.
I trimmed it big time. So that way, in time for our Vegas party in 2 weeks, it's filled in very nicely.
Just go bald, Dave. It's way better.
No.
Yeah, I mean, look at me. Look at this. Look at this. What do you mean? No, it's perfect. It fits. It works.
Cat Chaser
2 versus
wants
1.
put a deuce in your G string there, Steve.
Yeah.
Somebody has a crush tonight.
You want to know a funny fact? Who said that? Cat? You know what's actually funny right now? What are we on? Can I? Well, okay. So I actually am. I never wear these, and I'm not gonna show them. But I actually am wearing something very similar to what she said right now because my boxers are dirty, so I threw them on real quick. And that's funny that you say that.
That is funny. That is funny. All right.
But I can't show that.
No. Not tonight. I'm sorry, ladies and gents. All right. Hi, Chairman Meow. We're going to get going here in about 5 seconds. Stay tuned, everybody. Second half hour of Spaced Out Radio is now underway. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Dave Scott. Very much appreciate earning your listening ears. Want to remind you that if you've missed portions of this show or others, check out your free archives by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do old Davey the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website, spacedoutradio.com. We have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot, read the Newswire, check out our swag as well. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio, Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show, and on TikTok at Spaced Out Radio. We're talking paranormal all night long. Steve Erkintalo is here with us, and he is somebody who pushes the limits when it comes to exploring the idea of ghosts. Steve, welcome back. For a lot of people in our radio land, Steve, they may not understand what I'm going to say here, but you actually have a Ouija board tattooed across your chest.
Yes.
Why do that?
Yes. So I figured I might as well become, once all the hate happened, and I was, I cut myself, bled on the Ouija board, added human ashes to it. And I was getting banned from locations. People in locations, like location owners, were actually rewriting this and changing their waivers and their policies of no Ouija boards are allowed, because it was getting around what I was doing. So I'm like, all right, well, this isn't a phase for me. This isn't a fad. This isn't a trend. This is who I am. This is what I represent. So I was like, why don't I just get it tattooed on myself? Now I'm a walking, talking Ouija board. I don't need to, if they want to ban Ouija boards, I won't bring one in because I got one on my chest. So therefore, you're either going to have to ban me completely or just like, you're never going to know, And of course, I had that mentality before at one point when I really blew up. It worked really well. Now, of course, a lot of these owners know that I have a tattoo on my chest of it. And some love it, some don't, some won't, some will. I have used it, though, before. And did it work? I don't know. Somebody put a pendulum like over it, and it started going really big and really, loud, this, whatever it is they wanted to do with it. I'm not a big believer in those because I've actually held one and manipulated it and told people which way it's going to go. However, the one and only time that I've ever used that, I started throwing up really bad. And I was just laying down normal on a pillow. That is it. I rolled over and started throwing up. Doesn't mean I won't do it again. I enjoyed it. Something happened, but that is why I have a Ouija board tattooed on my chest. Product of what I represent in the field to show kind of that I put my money where my mouth is, and it's not just a trend for me. This is something that's never going to go away from me ever. So that's it. Oh, and another fun thing that I actually have in them. I actually have my grandma and grandpa's ashes tattooed in the Ouija board as well. So I found someone that they can do that, and they're tattooed in my chest. So I find that to be kind of interesting.
That's a different call.
Yeah.
All right. So let's learn about some of your more fantastical ghost stories here. You've mentioned you love working at Bobby Mackey's. You mentioned there. But around Florida, with all the hauntings that are around there, tell us one of your favorite ghost stories.
That's a tough one. I've been to so many places here, especially when I did haunted tours. We went to a lot of different locations. I would have to say, I'm trying to remember the name of it, where I laid on the train tracks. That was a really good one. Ashley's at Rockledge, I believe it was called, in Rockledge, Florida. It's a bar and grill, big restaurant, 2-story restaurant. Now, what they did not air on the show was something really spectacular, but what they did air that I could talk about because there's proof of it was just a different, unique thing. The train that was going by has never, ever, ever stopped there, ever in the history of this woman working there for over 20 years. And that particular night when we were upstairs using the Ouija board, and I pulled out some crayons or whatever, you can hear the spirit box. I'm saying, I can't remember her name, the person who was murdered. But I was trying to conjure up her spirit, and there was a mirror behind me. And I remember we were trying to use that mirror as well. And I was asking all these dark, deep questions. And all of a sudden, the train like interrupted the whole thing. The train actually stopped directly behind the restaurant. And the restaurant lady that was there, the manager owner, said that that's never happened in her 20 plus years. And I was thinking maybe that had something to do with the fact that something distracted us from this investigation and we needed to get away to get out of there. I'm not really sure, but the way that I felt during that, I think, was something that was more interesting than honestly what occurred. And I would have to say, out of all the places that I investigated, that would probably be the most intense based off what experience. You could hear in the show the girl's name being said over the spirit box. You can hear, that's pretty much it. I mean, it wasn't spectacular like what I usually go for. So I'm trying to sell it the best way that I can, even though there wasn't like the most extravagant place. It was just the most haunted that I would say, outside of my own house, where I literally do some dark things at my house for sure. But I would have to say that was pretty much it. The lighthouse in St. Augustine was pretty interesting, only because I proved something that ghost hunters and a lot of other people said was real. And I remember running to the top right before they were telling us to get out. You know, we got to go. Yeah, our time limit is up. I remember running up the spiral staircase, maybe like 10 flights, 10 spirals. And I wanted to duplicate this picture that was going around a lot, where somebody took a picture straight up and you could see this apparition looking over. So I was like, real quick, I just want to see what happened. So I ran up there, and the tour guide had to go with it. The tour guide had to go with because they didn't trust what I was going to do. They really thought I was going to do some off the wall thing, like jump down or something and kill myself. But we looked down, and I had all the crew of Haunted Tours take 3 different pictures with different cameras, look up, take it. And what you see is a duplicate of exactly what it looks like in all these paranormal pictures. You could see right through me. Like, that's me up there. We showed it on camera, and I look like a ghost. I'm like, weird. I did that in a matter of 10 seconds. But everybody thought that, like, when ghost hunters went there and when these people went there, that's a ghost. So I tried to explain how cameras work, you know, how the shutter speed works, how humans can look see-through if you're moving even this much with the shutter speed going off. You can actually see through us. And with the definition of a body. So I thought that was kind of interesting. I mean, haunted wise, Florida's boring. Like, Florida is boring. That's why I leave Florida. I leave Florida to go do my investigation. Florida's just boring. They tear down all the insane asylums and all the cool stuff to build condominiums for older people to come live here. So they ruin all the good stuff. Although Key West, I do want to go see Robert the Doll down in Key West. I don't know if a lot of people know about Robert the Doll, but Robert the Doll is what inspired the Chucky franchise films. So the history of Robert the Doll is almost similar to the Annabelle doll, except that blew up a little bit more with The Conjuring and stuff. However, Robert the Doll is a little sailor doll, and he sits behind a glass frame as well. And that's interesting. So I did get permission to go there and film and do some things. And I'm going this summer to do it, which I'm really excited about because of how I do techniques. They don't know what I'm going to do. Otherwise, they wouldn't let me come, but I know what I'm going to do. So I'm really excited to get my hands on the doll.
We have a haunted doll up here. Is according to David Weatherly and Ross Allison, it's one of the 10 most haunted dolls in the world. Her name is Mandy, and she's in a curio cabinet, and she's got a little lamb toy with her. And she has almost killed my buddy Merle. He woke up about 10 feet from the highway where he was about to walk onto the highway. Yeah, she put him in a trance. I mean, these haunted dolls, Steve, I mean, these aren't something to mess around with. I mean, even Robert the Doll, is famous for, people who take pictures of him without
Yeah.
his permission. They have bad things happen, from losing their jobs or losing their spouse, or breaking up with their spouse, or getting in car accidents, or coming down with disease, or even dying.
Yes. I'm excited for it. So, yeah, I think that's a very real thing, what you just said. So because it really, like, that's actually been documented, so it's a very real thing. I do believe I'm definitely not going to ask permission. I am going to I'm going to tell the doll, this is what I want. I want you, I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to say, but I am going to ask it to do something very damaging to me without asking permission to take a picture of the doll. I want to see myself if it's real. And if need be, I'll do exactly what other people have done. They've wrote letters afterwards to say, I'm so sorry, here you go. And they have stacks of letters from people who never asked permission, and they end up leaving and they still feel cursed by this thing. A lot of other people have said when they leave the island, it's cured again and they're perfectly fine. So there's so many different things that have been said and stated, and it's wild to me about what the power of this doll actually has. And the doll that you mentioned, I've never heard anything about Annabelle, really, just the movies, The Conjuring. I've never heard any stories in regards to that, though.
No, I mean, that's pretty much all I've heard as well, regarding it. But I mean, look, with Robert, why take that chance? Why egg him on?
I think that's more of a personal thing that I want to experience. I'm not afraid of death, and I really want to test the boundaries of the energy of how can energy of a ghost have a conscious, unconscious, and a subconscious state of mind with no connectivity and no harness to do it. We're harnessed in our bodies, right? So our consciousness and our brainwaves, we're connected to everything. The fact that I can move my hands this fast in a matter of a split second is putting a subconscious and unconscious brainwave through my body. And to be able to do that, now without a vessel to do that, I want to experience the power that energy has. Like the telephone lines that are outside, right? They connect the power to everything that we do. But if we cut that power line and strip it, there's no power anymore. But people are telling me that a ghost, a demon, this has that type of ability without any type of harness, without any type of consciousness into it. Like the doll is not alive, and that's like any demon. I don't see a demon, but you're telling me in this haunted location there's a demon that hurt you. I need to know. Like that honestly is just a personal thing, and I just don't mind recording it. And I don't mind, again, pushing the limits to record it because I want it documented. And if I die, and I remember saying this in the last time we spoke, I am willing to die for this field. That's my passion behind it, because at least then I will know the truth. And as long as there's cameras recording, the world will know the truth too. Many will say it's fake, many will say it's real. But if I die, like I actually die from it, you cannot state that is fake, as long as I'm covering my tracks. And is that a suicidal thing to say? No, because I'm not killing myself. Is it something that I'm willing to do, like a lot of scientists might be willing to do for their job? Absolutely. But it's no different, in my opinion, than people that are out there chasing Bigfoot. That thing will destroy you. If Bigfoot is real, that thing will annihilate you and rip you from head to toe. So really, I don't see any difference in that aspect of it. But I really am just that's pretty much it. I'm willing to die for what I believe in and to see what the truth truly is.
Why do you think you have to push it that hard?
It's a good question. Such a simple question, right? But like never really thought it. I think it's because of the phenomenal results that I have been getting from doing it. If I wasn't getting results based off how I'm interacting with these and how I'm presenting myself to the afterlife and conducting unorthodox and controversial situations and techniques, then I probably wouldn't do it. But the fact that I am getting results and it's being shown and it's being proven, I feel like that, to me, that's a step further and to seriously groundbreaking the field. We don't need another device on an app that tells you what a pre-programmed word is going to say in hopes that it doesn't. We don't need another electronic device to go from green to red to yellow to blue. I feel like we need something more definitive. And the fact that when I'm doing these things, definitive, a ghost or a spirit or consciousness or whatever is speaking without a voice box that doesn't have a brain, a tongue, or anything. I don't know. To me, I feel like, okay, I'm a step further. You know, my foot is getting closer to the doorway of whatever this is, or is it? And I just need to know that. And the fact that it works, that's exactly why. I mean, to me, that's just so intriguing. Nobody listening right now, or even us, can have this conversation without our mouths opening. But yet a spirit can talk to me without a tongue and a voice box. We've all heard it. Like, we've all heard EVPs. So that's wild to me. And the fact that I'm pushing the boundaries and I'm getting better results. I'm getting sentences. I'm getting just, yeah, not my.
Have you collected a piece of evidence yet that has blown your mind, that has absolutely made you realize that this is extremely real, or made you feel that you're on the right path?
I would say, I would say yes and no. I feel like the more that, because every time I do something and I'm getting any type of reaction from something out there, it's exciting, and it spikes, you know, serotonin in my levels. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm so excited, and it's great, and I'm scared at the same time. So I'm feeling all these different emotions. And I feel like every single time it happens, that's what it does. And it doesn't matter kind of what it is, as long as it's not a knock. You know what I mean? If it's doing something like that, that doesn't intrigue me enough. But I would say the hanging, when I put the noose around my neck at Bobby Mackey's and it said, "You got the wrong person." I would, you know what? I would probably say, and this isn't, I usually don't talk about the emotional aspect of it because it can't be proven. And I don't like discussing what can and can't be proven based off, that's just how I operate when it comes to the field. But I would say the aftermath effect of everything, you know, the paranormal hangover, the spiritual hangover, you know, that word. And that's affected me to where I never cleanse myself. I never put sage. I never do anything. I never pray. I never do anything before going in or after. So I've never been cleansed. But the spiritual hangover, I would say, is the worst. The depression aspects, the fact that there's times where I feel suicidal, and I'm hearing different thoughts that are different tones from men, women, boys, girls, and I can hear their voices, and they're different. I would say that takes it to a whole new level for me. And it's very real because I'm actually experiencing that, and I'm feeling these emotions, even at my house. Like when I'm done, when I leave an investigation, and the depression, the suicidal thoughts, but I know what that is now. 10 years ago, it would happen. I never knew. And now that I'm understanding of, okay, this is all it is, focus. I know what this is. It's not going to happen. That's the most intriguing to me. And I think that that's the most real aspect that I could possibly feel and understand, is when I'm feeling it that way. Sadly, I can't prove it because this is a spectator's. I'm not going to call it a sport, but let's just say, you know, we'll call it a sport for right now. So no one quote me on that. I'm telling you, it's not a sport. I'm just saying this to make it make sense. This is a spectator sport. People want to watch it. People want to see it. People want to understand it. So the fact that that's what it is, I feel like I can't prove that. I can't document that aspect of it. And that kills me inside. I'm like, I need to figure out how to pull this out and show people what I'm feeling based off the spiritual hangover. But that would be my answer.
So what is the answer you're searching for from them? If you already believe there is life after death with what you have accomplished, what's the next goal?
So I don't believe, so I have a book coming. I have a book coming out. Every time I express things like this, somebody goes and takes it and writes it in their own book and doesn't give me credit for it. So I'm going to try to word this as careful as possible. I don't believe, I wholeheartedly do not believe in ghosts. I don't believe in ghosts. I don't believe in demons. Here's what I think. I'm gonna try to picture it. There's how many dimensions? What? Let's just say 9 dimensions, right? Here's what I believe. Here, and this is I'm gonna try to make it make sense. The world, when you die, you have some type of weight that leaves your body, correct? Like it's been proven when you're on your deathbed, boom, it goes down, your weight does leave. So your consciousness weighs something. There's been more people dead than alive. Therefore, if all of that weight is accumulated in the air and on this, Earth would be heavier. Every single day we would get heavier, heavier. We would droop, we would fall off the axis. That's just what it is. We'd be obliterated because Earth cannot have that occur. So here's two things that I believe possibly might be happening. One, if they are spirits, and why people are sometimes like, oh, I just heard my dead mom. Like, why'd my mom come and then all of a sudden just left? I believe it's because they are there, right? But then when more people die and the weight of the earth needs to be shifted, that energy is going to another dimension, which is still right here inside of Earth, but just in a different layer. Therefore, to keep the balance of Earth, so therefore Earth does not fall off its axis and the humanity does just obliteratedly and dies. Therefore, every now and then you get the energy and you get the residual haunting of your mother, your lost loved one, whoever it may be, right? One theory, very like short narrative of what I think that theory is. I break it down more in my book. Here, my other theory is still with the dimensions, right? But I believe more or less what we're speaking to are actual human beings. And I can think this can correlate with UFOs as well. Say you're going to the refrigerator and you go to open up the fridge and you feel a cold spot or like a chill, like a ghost just walked through you. I think humans are living also in a different dimension that we just cannot see, which is just a perspective. And say somebody else in that dimension, a live being, a UFO or whatever it may be, an actual breathing person went and grabbed the refrigerator too, and your connection just happened to connect through that thin layer based off time and space. So that just takes us to like a quantum physics kind of thing and a quantum space and time kind of thing. And it's almost similar to a matrix holographic type deal, to where if you come over to my house every single day, right, for let's say 5 months, every day, all of a sudden you walk in and one day you're like, when did you get that painting? I've never seen that painting before. Well, it's always been there. Just now all of a sudden the light perspective and the light perception of that is allowing you to see that. It's almost similar to, again, if a tree falls in the woods and no one's around to hear it, is it actually happening? Is the wind blowing behind me right now? I have no idea. But when I turn around, I'm seeing the wind blowing because I know what wind looks like when it blows things. And I feel like that's the same type of physics and space and time aspect that I feel is what's occurring. Is I think these beings are actually here inside of a dimension right here on Earth, and that's that thin fine line of when space and time somehow just mesh and there's a break in the matrix, and that's pretty much what I believe.
1 minute ago, how do we see them then?
How do we what?
See them.
Again, I think it's the same thing. It's never been really fully, well, we see them through the light spectrums. We can only see a certain amount of light spectrum. So when we use these night vision cameras, IR, we're seeing through a different light spectrum. We're breaking through that time and space. We're breaking through that spectrum of light, which is the same concept. Again, like if you happen to finally see the painting on my wall, your light spectrum has definitely opened up a little bit more in that one tiny crack of space and time. Same thing when we see them with our own eyes out of the corner of our eye. There's that glitch right there in the matrix, in something that is occurring for us to see these beings. Why do you think we're seeing them as a whole body figure? We're seeing them as a body figure because it is a body figure. A ghost without any type of harness or anything to harness its vessel, it's just going to be a blah. It's just going to be a black spectrum of floating around in air.
And on that note, Steve, we're going to go to break here at the top of the hour. Paranormal investigator and the man who pushes the limits of the paranormal, Steve Erkintalo, is with us in hour 2. More of his insane experiments and your questions as well. Spaced Out Radio's hour number 2 coming up next on the Mighty SOR. All right, Dirty Filth, we're going to turn things over to you here for a few minutes. Remember, you could get Dirty Phil's scripted cartoons on Amazon. Steve, I'm just going to step away for a couple seconds here, okay?
Me too, actually. So I'll be right back, okay?
Yeah. You can hang out with Filthy if you want.
Look at that synchronized abandoning of Dirty Filth. Synchronized abandoning. All right, there's only 2 weeks. Come to Vegas, get cartoons, and yes. I'm gonna take some of these drawings. I'm gonna bring them to Vegas, and I don't know, maybe we'll flip a coin and somebody can get one or something. I don't know. Some kind of like weird Vegas stuff. Just waiting for the paint to dry. It's still kind of soggy because I sopped water all over the thing terribly tonight. Hi, Eugene. Hi, Paranormal Pixie. Hi, Paramarv. Boss Monster. Everybody I forgot. Oh. I was missing one of my pens, but because of the cats, but luckily I've always got a spare. I got like a backup to the contingency plan. Yeah. It's getting all soggy in Edmonton now, so paint doesn't dry as quick as it does in the wintertime. Well, I hope everyone's having a good time.
Are those like paint markers, or did you paint like a watercolor kind of paint?
Oh, I just use watercolor paint, dry stuff, and then just regular ink afterwards once it's all dry.
Do you trace everything too, or no? Or you just leave it as is?
Oh, I just leave it. I draw it out in pencil. It's terribly sketchy. It looks like chicken scratch and looks like blobs of nothing until the ink gets on it, but then it looks nice.
And you just roll with it, kind of just whatever you're feeling during the show?
Yeah, for the most part. Sometimes I kind of think about what I was going to do before the show. And to be honest, I usually look up the guests, and I went and looked up your stuff, and I was like, oh, geez, what am I going to do here? Am I going to do like a ghost, like lifting up huge barbells or something? And then
Yeah.
I might have to do that anyways. I mean, it was kind of, and then actually some of the stuff you're saying today, I kind of agree with it, where you're like, hey, if I die doing this stuff, it's like, there's the proof. And I always say someone needs to get broken in half by a Sasquatch or shredded by a dog man or something.
Yeah.
Like on Facebook Live and be like, well, there's a dog man. It just ripped that guy apart.
Right.
So there
Somebody
can't
needs to
be
sacrifice
denial
their
of it.
life. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I figure if
And
I
on
ever see a dog man, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
If I ever see a dog man, I'm going to try to suplex him.
But it's got to be live, because otherwise it'll be like pre-recorded. People think you chopped and edited it up. You got to go live.
Yeah, I'll totally forget about it because I'll be sitting outside, just be walking by. I'm like, there's my chance, and run away. And the cats will be staring at me and be like, well, he's dead now. Who's going to feed us in the morning? So I just kind of come up with whatever before the show. And
Mm-hmm.
figure there might be some orbs or something that show up at Vegas. Science Bob's going to be there, and that guy's like an orb magnet, apparently.
Like, yeah.
So if I don't see an
What is
orb,
it?
I'm going to be pretty upset.
What is this convention? It's a convention?
Oh, it's the spaced out radio party. It's not really a convention, I guess. Gotta draw the blue meanie orb. He's all grumpy pants all the time. probably got an Italian accent. He's like, "Hey, I'm walking here," but he's got no legs because he's an orb.
Pretty talented, eh?
Yeah, I love watching it.
Did you let your werewolves out for a whiz, Dave?
Of course. Of course. All right, we got just under 45 seconds.
Yeah.
This gray alien's got a Slurpee.
Cream soda?
No, it's blue bubble gum. Jones Soda Slurpee. I had one the other day.
Oh, those are
It's
good.
tasty.
Those are good. All right, Dirty. We're going to mute you
Oh,
here.
there's a little bug there.
And a big thank you to Cat Chaser with the hat trick, Derek, Donnie Cho, Lara, and Deb for the amazing super chats. Great way to support what we do on this show. Also, if you are going to Vegas, I sent out an email earlier today. Go read it. Might be in your junk mail, but it's there. So check it on out. Here we go.
You're listening to Spaced Out Radio with Dave Scott. Follow Dave on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Facebook, Spaced Out Radio Show.
Here we go, kicking off hour number 2 of Spaced Out Radio tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. We very much appreciate earning your listening ears wherever you are on this beautiful planet we call Earth. Hello to everyone listening in on our terrestrial affiliates around North America, digitally on Odyssey Radio, TalkStream Live, and KPNL. All of our archives are free. Join us at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do old Davey the favor, hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. Calamist. Calamist is your password. Use it wisely, Space Travelers, as the Clam sets a password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Our website is spacedoutradio.com. We have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot, read the Newswire, check out our swag as well. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio, Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show, and on TikTok at Spaced Out Radio. We continue on tonight talking all things paranormal. Pushing the limits is paranormal investigator Steve Erkintalo. And Steve, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We very much appreciate it, my man.
I appreciate it. Thank you. I love it. I love being here.
The idea that you don't believe that there are ghosts, but you believe in spirits, for people who may not know the difference, to you, what is the difference?
So, I to me, I really don't think there is a difference. I feel like it's all kind of the same. It's just whatever word wants to come out of your mouth. But once you just ask that, because I've never been asked that before, instantly in my mind, I would just say a ghost is something that really truly doesn't have a vessel. It's out there. It's already done. You're dead. You're gone. And a spirit is something that's within us. Like my spirit right now is active. I'm ready. Like I'm going. Let's do it. Let's do this interview. You know, I'm not saying my ghost is doing this right now. Let's do it. Let's go. Like, you know, so I think the spirit is more of a personality. The spirit is what is connecting everything together in order for us to show and express this personality aspect of what it is that you do, I do, everybody does. And a ghost is the afterlife of that, something that is no longer harnessed, that has a spirit to be able to have a personality, or say.
Now, do you believe all spirits are human?
Spirits, yes, only because of me just saying the question you asked, yeah, being that the spirit is within us, as we're alive, yes. Do I think like are you saying more or less? Do I believe in demons, like a demonic kind of presence?
Or it doesn't matter whether it's demonic, but I mean, there's the angelic realm. You know, there are the different realms where different characters can hide.
I think, I mean, that to me, that's kind of pushing things a little bit. But based off what I've experienced by doing all of this, I would have to say that the possibility of something like that is in existence. I mean, it has to come from somewhere. You know, somebody just didn't pull that descriptive details of what those are just out of a rabbit hat one day and say we're just going to go with it and hope the rumor catches, and it just spreads like wildfire. So I do believe it. I don't think it's just as big as, I guess, what ghost hunting is, in a way, if that makes sense, to talk about. I'm trying to find the right words. So I people pick my words apart very carefully. So I'm trying to pick the right words so I'm not getting like criticized saying things.
No. Well, let me rephrase. Do you believe there is demons out there?
No, I don't believe in demons. Demons are something I really don't. And not, I say that because that's a tough one. Again, I would have. So something happened to me, right? We'll go with this. When I was growing up as a child and I was in a very abusive upbringing, I isolated myself and I sheltered myself. And I think that that's what's opened me up to the spiritual realm, because I started talking to myself and answering myself, and I was hearing these voices. And I think I did open up something really dark. And years and years later, I was laying in bed. I was maybe 19 years old, maybe 20, I don't know. I had this dream. And I was getting off of a bus, and there was a bunch of people around chanting my name, yelling my name, all this fun stuff, right? I look over, and all of a sudden there's these big pillars, and I saw this dark black creature walking with long arms, long claws, just walking and dragging its claws, body walking this way, head looking at me, and everything went quiet, and I was focused on this. Once it disappeared, I felt something. I woke up, I felt something breathing down the back of my neck, and I was so terrified. Ever since then, and I never told anybody. And I was getting all of these, after doing podcast after podcast after podcast, I was getting these mediums and people saying that I have this dark entity attached to me, and I never expressed that story before. And I was like, man, that's really weird that people are saying that. And then all of a sudden, years later, I have another dream similar to that with two girls. I'm sitting on a bench, and this is gonna have a story as to why I do and don't at the same time. But I'm sitting on a bench, and this is a dream, and I'm looking into this pool, and there's two girls staring at me. One of them said that they have to use the bathroom. I instantly, in my mind, this is years later, in my dream, I knew right then and there I was dreaming, and I instantly felt fear with the girl on the left side that got out of the bathtub, as if it was that entity, that thing, that whatever it is. And I remember looking over in my dream, looking at her, same mannerisms, walking this way, head towards me, and I knew it. I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it, because I know what I saw in my dream, or in the subway dream, and that. And I don't know what that is. And I would say that every now and then I still feel that thing. But so to say that that's a demon, I don't know. But I did research, and I was looking over all of these demons, and I found one that looked very close to what I saw, and it gave me chills. So I would say in that aspect, yes. But I would say in another aspect, no, because of everything that I do in the field. I mean, I cut myself, I bleed. I ask for this. When I'm sitting there, I say, if there's demons, come possess me. Take me right now. I will put my arms out. I will do whatever you want. I said, I will sell my soul to a little bit of the devil. I will sell my soul to the devil, to these demons, to whatever it is. You can take my life at the age of 68. Why 68 came to mind, no idea. I said, you could take my life at the age of 68 if you prove to me that the devil, the demons, and all of this evil is real. You have that. I'm giving you my permission. And I've done all of these dark things and nothing. Like, if anything, if demons are real, like they're doing me a favor, because my life is getting better and better every single year. And I didn't ask for that. I just said, you could take my life if this, just show me your proof. There was no big exchange, but yet everything in my life, it has its moments, but again, it also, I mean, the way my body looks, the way I'm getting these deals, doing this, and I'm not really putting in too much effort, if that's the right way to say it. So in one sense, yes, I believe in I guess we'll go with demons. In another sense, I don't, because I've asked for it, and I'm trying to get that. I'm trying to get that darker side of things, and nothing is occurring. Now, some people will say, well, it's because you're asking and you're waiting for it, right? You know, then it's not going to come to you. You're too, your spirit's too strong. You know, you're a strong individual, mentally, everything. They only go to the weak, right? Because it's easier for them. That's a demon. That's what they're going to do. Why do they need to try? And I'm like, okay, we'll go with that analogy. We'll go with that. We'll go with that thought process. That's cool. But then again, studying demons, what if there is already one lingering to me? And as we know, time doesn't matter to them. Nothing is relevant to that aspect. So they could stay dormant within me, and at my weakest time, come out and hit me and strike, and I could lose everything. Because I have been down. Like, I've been down in the pits in Baker acted, suicide, this and this, all within the time frame of me doing the paranormal. So again, I can't prove that, but I can only go based off what I feel when that's occurring. So could that be that? Absolutely, because of what I feel and the dreams that I had. However, in the moment of me trying to experiment with demons and the devil, I don't witness anything. Nothing occurs. So if that's a toss-up kind of question for me. I kind of rambled on there, but I really wanted to get both sides of it, what I experienced.
Let me follow up with that then and ask you then, do you fear or believe that there's a God and that maybe God is protecting you?
So I don't necessarily believe in a God, but I believe in a higher conscious state. I believe we give that conscious meaning a title to make it easier to be relatable to. So calling it God or him God or her God, yeah, I could see that, but I really would more or less believe, again, like, it could be because I've had experiences where I'm one of those people that, like, if I forget my keys, I put my keys up on the counter and they're always there. All of a sudden I'm in a rush. I can't find my keys. Where are they? I lost them. And I can't find them. I find them 30 seconds later. I'm that type of person that believes, okay, that 30 seconds spared my life, because if I would have got on the highway, I would have got into an accident. So something saved my life. Some people will call that God, and some people will call it something different. So again, that's kind of a toss-up question for me on that one as well, because when I needed that ability and that God and points in my life, that wasn't there for me. And when I've made the prayers and I've done the things, those things never even occurred. Still to this day. Now I get it. People can say, well, God works in this area. He's building that pathway, right? It takes time. I get it. But again, it's the same concept from God and the devil. I've never fully experienced that. And the best way that I can think of it as is just a higher state of consciousness, not necessarily a God that's doing these things and protecting me. And so, I mean, that can also relate back to, are they angels protecting me? Is there something out there protecting me? Because I don't cleanse myself. I don't do any of that stuff. So whatever it is, it's something, but it's the same way that I feel about the ghost. Or what is this? Is it different dimensions where these are humans or these are this? It's just so far unexplained that I don't like to just give it a title and give it a meaning and always say that this is what it is. I need to know why. Why is that? Why do you believe that? I need to know. And I think with me pushing those questions and digging deeper and doing the experiments I do in the way my thought process works, which is in my book and doing things, I think that's what goes back to, like, the first hour where people think that I'm whatever, they hate me and I'm controversial and this, because I just have a different belief system. And most people in this field do not believe that. They believe in a God and the devil. That is it. And this is what it is. And I just need to know, no matter what, no matter the risk, no matter what it is, I need to know. And if I die doing something very dramatic, and there is a God, I mean, I'll know then, but nobody else will know, and if I die and it comes off as I just did suicide because I was willing to put my life on the line to do something crazy and I see the devil, again, I'll know, but no one will know. So I guess it's all just, it's a personal thing, but I really can't answer that because I don't have the answer.
Steve Erkintalo is our guest tonight on Spaced Out Radio, pushing the limits of the paranormal. Indeed. Let's get to some audience questions here. Start off with Mike, who is asking, have you ever made contact with Satan himself doing these things or something very close to him?
No, I would say, so I know what the real Satan sigil is, right? It's not an upside down cross. It's not the 666. It's the cross and the figure 8, right? So I did that. I wrote that on the ground and I laid upside down on a cross over that. And I was trying to see if something would occur, right? So I'm tied to this cross. And all of a sudden, I did start feeling a burning sensation all right here down my side. And there was a mark that was forming down my side. Now, people that are listening, that listen to the first hour, are probably wondering why I didn't say that was the most terrifying or craziest experience that I experienced in the paranormal. And I would feel like because that was the most exciting. I wouldn't necessarily say it was something that it was such a unique experience for that to happen. And I'm trying to go back to think about the emotions that I had during that time. And it was more of again, that was like a personal thing that I experienced, even though it was filmed. I have it. It's filmed. I would say that would be the closest that I got to, if I would have to give an answer, a definitive answer, I would say that would be it, because of me being on an upside down cross and actually on the satanic ritual sigil. I would say that that's it. Even when I drew out the demonic sigils in my blood on my Ouija board, and even when I've done them with other things, I've never gotten anything that intense as when I did that. But I couldn't say it's Satan. I mean, I couldn't, but I would say if I had to answer it, that would be what I would consider the closest that I do believe would be.
Really?
And I do some crazy things. So when I'm talking about this stuff out loud, I'm like, man, I do wild off the chain things. Like, I don't realize that I do off the wall, unorthodox things until I'm actually speaking it out loud. And I love it.
Why don't you fear for yourself? Why do you not cleanse yourself? Why do you take all of these chances? And even though you have survived them all, you still, won't cleanse yourself or try and remove anything that could be negatively attached to you.
So that's like almost, I want to feel it all. So like if I go to cleanse myself, we take Advil and Tylenol to get rid of a headache, right? I don't want to get rid of these feelings. I want to experience it. That's part of my job as an investigator, or a researcher or science, whatever it is that I want to, be labeled as. I want to experience it. I want to feel these thoughts. I want to feel the pain. I want to feel the depression. I want to feel the suicidal tendencies. I want to feel the emotions of something that is not me in order to be able to get that step closer. So I feel like if, I'm about to go into this haunted location, but let me protect myself and sage myself, and then wonder why I don't get anything. Well, you just protected yourself. What do you think is gonna happen? Don't get mad at the ghosts or the demons. You protected yourself. So what if that is real? I don't want that. I don't want to protect myself and sage myself and it be real. And now all of a sudden I don't experience what it is that I'm there to experience. Right? That's what I'm there for. So, and then why would I want to do the aftermath effect of saging myself when I want that so bad? I want to lay in bed and feel the nightmares. I want to feel something breathing down my neck. I want to turn the lights off and know that I could sense something is over there to the right of me or to the left of me. I know it. I can feel it. I can see it, with your third eye, with your mindset, it's there. I don't want to get rid of that. I cherish that. I love it. Every bit of it. I love it. It terrifies me, but what I don't understand why a paranormal investigator wouldn't want that. That's our job. That's what we go for. That's what we do this for. That's why we spend thousands of dollars on equipment. That's why we spend thousands of dollars to go in these locations, right? I'm not trying to take Advil and go in there and not get a headache, like, so that's
but
why.
do you not feel that you're punishing yourself?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. 100%. Oh, I know it. Yeah. And that's the risk that I take. And I know that when I'm headed to a location, I'm like, okay, this is what could happen. And this is what very well may happen. So I know it already, and being that I know the aftermath effects, I don't always know what's going to happen, obviously. But I do know that there's a possibility of me once again trying suicide. There's a possibility of it actually happening, and not having any proof. And I know that I'm hurting myself in that aspect. But it's also again is like I'm doing this for me. Like I'm doing this because I need to know. And if that's the risk that I need to take in order to prove whatever it is that I fully can't even, I have a feeling you're going to ask me, what is it that I'm trying to prove? So I'm just going to say, I really don't know what I'm trying to prove to myself, except for the fact that I just need to know what it is. It's the same thing as everyone else. Like I need to know. I can't assume and be like, this is a ghost. This is the ghost of Anne who died right here. You don't know that, you know? And that could be Anne that was there 3 years ago, who was a paranormal investigator who got scared, rented the place out, left a residual haunting, and left an impact and an indent right there. And every single time you go in there, you're listening to somebody that's actually alive. That's Anne. That's Anne from Pennsylvania Paranormal. That's not Anne the ghost. You just don't know. And a lot of the hauntings I do believe that we leave behind are just residual impacts of humans. I don't think they're spirits, ghosts, different dimensions, or anything. So a lot of that residue too, that I do believe that I'm putting myself in harm's way. It's almost like if we all go to a convention or a party, we pick up other people's energies and vibes and like, whoa, that person's got a bad vibe. Like I'm not going to go talk to them. I don't want to. So when I go into a haunted location, I don't know. And as bad as this is going to sound, we really don't know. We don't do background checks of these people that go into these places. They don't. So I don't know if a dude who murdered somebody is actually on a team and did it, or somebody that done some horrible crime. So if they go in there and all of a sudden I'm picking up their energy from years ago, months ago, or whatever, because of the residual energy they left behind, just embedded into this earth based off whatever purpose that they did, I could be picking up that energy. Now I'm picking up something way worse than what a demon or anything is, because this person now has more power, in my opinion, than a ghost, a spirit, or a demon, because he has the connectivity of the brain power that is actually excreting all of this energy right here into this place. And now I'm picking that up. Now my brain waves and connectivity are gonna are double that, because this is a real live human that I just picked up on their energy. And that's scary. But I always try. I'm just rambling off topic now because I'm like thinking about all these things. It's been so long since I've been interviewed. So I'm just like, man, I love this. Let's go. But I know the harm that I put on myself, and I'm okay with it. I guess to answer your question. I just like to give details, but I'm okay with it. I'm okay with doing that. And yeah, I'm comfortable with it. So
I don't know if I would be. I
No?
really don't know if I would be okay with it, or if I would be, wanting to push the limits. Like in certain circumstances, I have no problem going for it. Like for instance, if I were to see another Sasquatch again this year, I want to get close to it. I want to try and move up on it. Obviously, I'm going to let it watch me, so it doesn't feel like I'm stalking it to try and create anything dangerous. But I'm going to try and follow it, see if it'll let me get close. I could understand that rush that you're getting about trying to push the limits, but the experiments, holy cow, dude, you are a beauty when it comes to it.
So
Absolute
you
beauty.
wouldn't.
You hold on right there, because we are
Okay.
going to go to break here at the bottom of the hour. We have Steve Erkintalo, paranormal investigator out of the beautiful state of sunny Florida. Yeah. We're talking ghosts for another half an hour here on Spaced Out Radio. Spirits, would you do the experiments that Steve is doing? Do you have the intestinal fortitude to make it happen? I don't, and that's okay. More Ghost Talk on Spaced Out Radio the next half hour. All right, we're clear. Let's see what Dirty Filth
Right.
finished up with here.
I'll be right back, guys. Oh, that looks really good.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Good
Where's the
job,
orbs? I see
Griffith.
the blue orb and the yellow orb.
Yep.
Get the blue meanie, the nice guy, and gray alien with his squishy.
And
Is that a zombie?
Dirty Filth there looking like a zombie.
Oh, they.
Oh yeah,
I
the
like
war
that.
paint's going on, Dave. I don't like crowds.
I know. That's why I'm bringing you my Sasquatch outfit.
Is he wearing the Sasquatch outfit or is he walking around? We don't know. Or is he a man in black? Find out next year on Space
I
Radio.
don't know. I don't know, Dirty. I don't know.
You know what the worst thing is, Dave? It's nice out. The cats are outside. They don't care about me anymore.
Yeah.
Oh.
You got sirens.
Yeah, that's
probably
not
gonna have to
on
go
my-
wrangle up the cats.
Yeah, that damn blob is causing nothing but troubles out in the neighborhood. Steve, your YouTube channel is under your name.
I got locked out of my YouTube channel because I got robbed in New Orleans, and someone hacked everything on my phone, so I don't even access it. But yes, it is just my name. If you go to like talk about whatever, just I don't post new stuff there because I'm trying to create a new thing.
Right on. Right on.
Dave, I might have to post bail for my cats tonight.
I know. I was just listening to that. Mm-hmm. Thank you, W. Decker, for that awesome super chat. I could use a milkshake right about now. Oh, I can be honest with that. Also, thank you to Izzy Stradlin, Ovi Flett, Louie, Cat Chaser with a hat trick, Deb, Laura, Donnie, and Derek Zoolander. Very much appreciate the love. The love. All right, let's go this way. There we go. Now they can see us. Now they can see us.
Okay, I'm gonna go jump in the chat room and troll everybody, Dave.
All right, we'll remove you. You remove yourself. And you go, yeah, DQ shake. Nice strawberry shake. I had one last night. Can't have them 2 nights in a row. I'll get fat again. Don't want to get fat again. I don't know. I still got you. You look great, Stevie. You look great.
Thank you.
All right, we got just over 90 seconds.
All right.
Okay, Hobo, how you doing? No, that was Tim Hortons ice caps, Jeremy. Brings the aliens to the yard. They don't stop at Tim Hortons. I do. Damn, it's been a good show, Steve.
You
Very
think so?
good.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I enjoy this. I enjoy it a lot. I really do. I think I like the questions. Yeah, you're making my brain tick and talk and think, and I enjoy it. It's been a long time. You're the last person. You're literally the last person that I had a podcast with. Like this is pretty much it. You know, and it's been 2 years, so I love it.
I like it. I like it. You make me laugh on Twitter.
I gotta pump the brakes on Twitter sometimes.
We all do. We all do. Thank you, Nancy Hayes, for that amazing super chat. Love you, dear. We wish you could attend too. That's right. If you are going to our Vegas party in 2 weeks, check your email. I sent you all an email tonight or earlier today. Check it and make it happen. 10 seconds. All right, bud, here we go. We passed the halfway point of Spaced Out Radio tonight. Good to have you with us. My name is Dave Scott. Very much appreciate earning your listening ears. Want to remind you that if you've missed portions of this show or others, you can always check out our free archives by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do old Davey the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com. We have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot, read the Newswire, check out our swag as well. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio, Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show, and on TikTok at Spaced Out Radio. We continue on tonight. We have until the top of the hour. Paranormal researcher Steve Erkintalo. Now, Steve, one of the big things that I know that you love doing is connecting with the audience. We're going to continue with some audience questions here. Let's go to Nikki in Seattle, who is asking, do you also have symbols painted or engraved on any of the floors, walls, or your ceilings of at your home?
Than the Ouija board, and no, other than the Ouija board on my chest. And I wish I had my Ouija board in here right now with me. I'd show it to you guys. I'd go get it real quick. I do have drawings that are inside my Ouija board box of sigils, of demonic sigils, and I'll use those whenever I go live on Facebook. So I would put those next to the Ouija board or on the Ouija board, and I would cut myself and add blood to that aspect of it, and then see if I could contact that demon. But I don't have any on the wall. It's a good idea. I'm probably going to now, because I don't know why I never thought of that, to be honest. But I probably will now actually do something on my wall. I feel like that might extend something to make it more of a portal, possibly. So I do like the fact that you asked that question, because now you have me thinking now about what can I do to make my house something more than what it already is.
That's awesome. Okay, let's go over to let's see here. Corruption Czar. Have you ever explored Casadega Camp in Florida?
Yes. So the first hour I did mention that was actually where a lot of where everything changed my mind with nicer ghosts or nicer entities. So Casadega, Florida was the very first place I ever went, right when I first started to want to paranormal investigate 10 plus years ago. First team that I formed, we went there and I met there was 2 little girls that supposedly died in a fire in the original part of the building. One of them haunts the gift shop down in the bottom basement, and in the bottom floor, and they have a porch. So I was on the porch with me and my buddy. He was to the right of me. I was to the left of him. Late at night, and we heard a hello. We both turned around. It was a girl's voice, and instantly that changed everything for me. So that was my experience that I had in Casadega. They also have something called the Devil's Chair that's there too. And the myth behind that is just, you go there, you can leave a beer can there in the chair for the devil, and when you leave and come back or whatever, it's drunk, but it's never open. And so that's interesting. I took a brick from that chair. I know you probably shouldn't steal, don't do anything like that, but I was very interested in this brick and I wanted to take it. So I do have a brick from that chair in my home.
Well, that's okay. That's okay. All right. Let's continue on here. Let's go to Mike here in British Columbia. A lot of haunted locations claim there are portals to hell, such as Bobby Mackey's, but where, in your opinion, is a real portal to hell?
It's a good question. That's a good question. Um, I don't know. Like that's actually a good question because everywhere that I've been, I do believe in portals. I do, but to hell, I don't. But a portal to, but I get what you're saying with it. You don't necessarily mean to hell. Um, I think we honestly are our own portal. Like I was trying to not go too deep into it because the time frame we have, but I think wherever we go, we're capable of being that portal ourselves, based off the energy that we want to give off and the vibes we want to get off, especially when we're in a haunted location. So I would go with that. Like we are that portal. But out of every place that I could possibly think of, I've never been, and I'm probably gonna mess this up and get it wrong. But isn't there some place in the West Coast where it's like a door, or there's something out there where it throws the vortex of everything off? And this is known, and I wish I could remember what it is. And a lot of tourists go there all the time, but everything malfunctions. Like I'm talking about gadgets zoom up, everything is just compasses are going crazy, spinning around. And I want to say it's a door or it's like a little cabin. And I don't mean like a cabin, like you walk in and that's all you can do is maybe fit 3 people in it. Um, I don't know what it's called or where it's at, but it's on the West Coast. It's very well known. Do you know what it is, Dave, or anybody? Because I really don't. I can't. It's been years since I've heard about it. But whenever I think of a portal, I think of that spot, and I don't know why I've never been. It just my mind goes blank with it. But I would say that place, and I've never been. I just feel like that's where it would be because of all the technology that goes haywire and phones start cutting off and factory reset themselves, and the people have videotaped this happening just standing there. Like I said, it's a big tourist spot. It's a big destination for people to go to. Not necessarily paranormal. They're not going there talking to ghosts. It's just something is occurring there.
Yeah, there's always weird locations, man. I think these locations, there's a lot more out there than what we know because all TV does is recycle the same locations over and over and over again. I would like to, I'd like to see them go and find some of these old rundown towns, that have been around for 100 to 300 years and see what's there. There's a lot more Virginia cities out there than we know.
Absolutely. It's just the truth, unfortunately, sells, but not on TV. They don't want to. Don't be too. You can't be too truthful on TV. It becomes too real. You can't have that.
Very true.
Ooh, I think the pyramids, only because of how they're based. You know how they're like directly lined up, like exactly where they need to be, and there's other structures all over the world that are lined up just like that. And if you connect those structures, it actually has a symbol that represents something too. So again, I just watched something about this, and I can't fully remember right now with everything else going on in my brain, but I would say one of those points as well could be something to do with the portal. Definitely the pyramids. I mean, the way that they're structured, the way that they're built, the controversy behind that alone, how they got built, I would say there's definitely something going on there. For some reason, I was just thinking about only in the United States, but I'm like, wait a minute, worldwide, I would go with the pyramids.
All right, let's continue on here. Let's go over to, I think it's Deb here. And Deb is asking, have you ever had sex with a ghost or spirit while in a dream state?
I have. I cannot say that I have. Would I want to? Yeah, absolutely. All day, every day. It's been a long time for me, so I would definitely want to, but not that I know of. Not that like I've waken up. I don't know how much detail I can go in about this. I don't know if I should just end it with no or whatnot. But we'll say that I thought that I have at one point while dreaming, and I woke up ready for it. We'll go with that, right?
Patty Negri, who's a good friend of this show, psychic to the stars in Hollywood, she says this phenomena is very real and it can happen to just about anybody.
Yeah. Yeah. Sleep paralysis too used to be very real when it was, claimed to be demonic, right? However, we realize what sleep paralysis is too now. So Could it be very real that we have sex with ghosts and what is it? Incubus and succubus, right?
Yes.
Could it be? Yeah, I mean, the possibility's there. I I mean, maybe like when you're having a dream about having sex, and then all of a sudden you wake up and you're like, man, what was that? You know, and you wake up ready to go. Maybe that was you having sex. I with a ghost, and man, I don't know. Now you got me. Now I got to go figure this out and get banned from other locations. So, no, thank
Oh
you.
my. What you need to do is you need to find one of these haunted hotels that maybe used to be a brothel or something.
Right, that I'd get away with it there. That'd be perfect.
Because I know up here we have a haunted town called Barkerville, and right in the middle of the town there's an old brothel. And rumor is if you put a $5 bill on the nightstand in the middle of the night, your door will open and a lady of the night will come in and perform
All right, I like it.
acts
You
of
need to go
passion.
test that out. Yeah, you need to test that out.
Let's go to Jenny. Do you ever just experience peace?
Within the paranormal, or just in general, like what I mean, we'll go. You know what? To be honest, I really don't. I'm very hard on myself. I'm very demanding on myself, and I know that's a curse. That's a bad thing, but I am. My expectations for what it is that I want to do, I beat myself up every day, every minute, and it's a very real thing. When I say that, it is very real. I put myself down a lot, so I don't really experience peace, ever, like ever. When I'm discussing this type of stuff, like when we're talking about this, I would say that's probably as close as to peace as I come, because I'm able to get this off my chest, and I'm able to get not specifically this question, but just everything that I'm able to express without talking about it on a Facebook update, to where I can't really get it out there with the passion, and I can't really break down what I mean. So this would be probably as close to peace as possible, outside of being with my daughter, of course, but because nothing else matters, obviously, when I'm with her. Like, my mind is completely free of everything, and I don't think about things, just being with her. But I would say peace wise, no. Other than that, I'm too hard on myself. Like, after this interview, if we're gonna speak the truth, I'll go lay down and I'll toss and turn and say that I shouldn't have said this. I should have said this. Why did I do that? I will literally beat myself up over every little thing, if I'm being honest. And I'll get a lot of people saying, that was so great. That was great. That was great. That's which is great. I appreciate all that. But again, that's something that is within an internal that I don't feel is accurate. So sadly, I do not, unfortunately.
Well, let me flip it then. Do you want peace?
No, I right now, no, because I think without the peace, that's what keeps me going. That's what keeps me questioning why this, and I need to figure that out myself. And if I have the peace, I'll become comfortable, complacent, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to stay stagnant. And I think that's a big fear of mine. And I think that fear of having that type of peace is what continues for me to continue to push more and more and more and more. It's probably why I've never been in a relationship, never been married, never done anything, but that again is what it is. But no, I don't think I do. I don't think not right now, anyways. Not right now. When I'm older, when I feel like it's time for me to have that peace, I think I'll accept it. But right now, I don't want it.
What's the next big push for you?
For what's coming up, or what I'm about to do in the field.
What you're about to do in the field?
I can't tell you where I'm going to do it in case they hear and I get banned. I am going to rip one of my own teeth out. I am going to hang myself up on the suspension hooks right on my back. Then I'm going to have someone slice a razor blade all the way down my side, of just enough to where blood is dripping everywhere to make it look like the residual aspects of somebody getting gutted completely out. I know that all sounds crazy, but if you knew where I was doing this at and why, it wouldn't. Well, it sounds crazy regardless. But
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so I mean, it's just, um, there's other things that I just don't want to say, but that's just for other that I just can't because but it's going to be a lot more intense than that. Um, but those are two of the biggest things that I'll be doing, minus the other stuff. Um, I want to say it, but I can't. Like I really just can't. I just can't say it. So,
Hey,
but it is. It is.
that's fair. That's fair.
What's
I
that?
can live
Yeah,
with that. Let's go
it
over
is
to.
going to be.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Finish it.
Oh, I was going to say it's going to be released though, all in the fall. So it's going to be seen this year. So that's a plus.
Stone is asking, have you ever brought back physical wounds and markings from paranormal ghosts or spirits?
Like after investigating, has like a
Yes.
wound ever appeared on my body? Kind of thing,
Yes.
or have I ever brought back like through their pain, like if they got stabbed or something, have I ever brought back their type of wound? No, other than the mark that I said when I hung upside down on that cross and I got that and it's gone now. I've had blisters form on my forearm, like 3 blisters, like the skin was actually melting away, which I have the picture of that. I should probably post that on Instagram or something. I had that occur, but the markings went away. And my skin was actually bubbling and blistering and opening up. It's the wildest thing I ever seen in my life. I'm looking at it like my arm's on fire and I'm watching it open up. But no, I would say never. The other than like the spiritual hangover aspect, like those emotional wounds more than physical, for sure.
Let's go to Truth-ertainment. Have you committed any genuine acts of evil in order to conjure evil entities, not Amdram sigil or laying on crosses?
Have I ever? So pretty much, have I ever killed something in order to do a sacrifice? I have done. I have, but I also ate that thing. So because I'm from the country, I do believe in the kill what you eat. I did do it with a deer, and I did use that as a sacrifice ritual to do. The deer was still alive when I did it. I wounded the deer. I hung the deer. I hung the deer up. Man, I do some crazy things. I hung the deer up like you would to gut it, still alive, and outside of, I did do the sigil under it because I wanted to. I did the chants, I did the candles, and I had all this, and then I sacrificed that in return for some type of belief, some type of presence, some type of here is an exchange. Here is this. I am giving you this body of life, and in exchange for, and I did that, and I gutted the deer down. Its intestines fell out everywhere. Man, that sounds so crazy when you say it out loud. No wonder I'm banned from almost every location. But yes, the answer is yes. I had to, but mind you, I did do that on my property. So that wasn't at like a location. I wasn't anywhere. People make it very clear to me, even Bobby Mackey's, who will let me do anything in the world there. They tell me you cannot kill anything here. Okay. I won't kill anything here. Because they do know what I do. So, but yes, to answer your question, yes, I have.
Sounds tasty. Lots of deer around here. Lots of deer.
Good venison.
We've got about just over 5 minutes to go here before we have to say goodnight to you tonight. And I think one of the things, there's going to be a lot of people out there who say, this guy's a nut bar for doing what he does to himself. But there's a lot of people out there, and I've read the majority of the comments, especially in our chat room, who are very fully supportive of you pushing the limits and trying something different than what everybody else is doing. And you're using your own body as a scientific experiment for this, and I think that should be commended, that you're willing to sacrifice your own body for the passion you have of learning and maybe finding the true answers to whether or not there is life after death, or where do we go and how do we get there? What happens? These are important questions that people care about.
Thank you. And I do appreciate all that support, because I do get a lot of hate for obvious reasons. And so I do appreciate that. Honestly, I didn't expect all the questions. Like I didn't know people were going to be that involved. Like I'm actually very like, dang, like that's why I'm so caught back with answering. Like I did not expect that at all, let alone the support. Like that's even more amazing because that means, okay, cool. Maybe finally people are getting it, but no, I appreciate that, everybody. I wish I could see them all, guys. Like I just can't with what I'm doing, with how I'm set up right now. But I do appreciate it, and I do appreciate the show, and I appreciate your fan base, Dave, and how amazing everybody is on your show. So thank you to everybody.
It is a good time. It is very much a good time, and for you, going on your next ghost hunt. How long do your ghost hunts last? Is it something you do in the evening, or when you're preparing for a hunt? Is it a weekend adventure?
It really, to be honest, it depends on how much the location cost. Like if I can afford a weekend, I'll do it. But typically, like some places are, well, this is $1,000, and you can go from 8:30 to 2 a.m. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to spend $1,000 to go from that time to that time. So I typically try to find a place that lets me do at least 10 to 12 hours. If I could stay the night there and wake up and leave at 7 or 8 in the morning, I'm 100% okay with that, because that's what I would rather do. Let me sleep there. Let me stay the night there. I don't want to leave in the middle of the night to go back to a hotel. So that's normally how they go. I just base it off the time frame of what it is, and if I feel like the price is fair to do it. Other than Bobby Mackey's, we have to leave at a certain time, but they just let me do whatever I want there. So that's like, I'll just go there if need be.
Makes it nice and easy, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Out of everything you have not experienced with, or not experienced with ghosts, what is an encounter that you want to have?
I want to get possessed. Like I want to get, now possession, I know we don't have a whole lot of time. I do think that we already are possessed because our body is already taken over by something, and possession means you have ownership of something. So our spirit does have ownership of our vessel. We are already possessed. However, I want that Hollywood possession. I want that Conjuring possession. I want to be in it. Like that would do it for me. I think if that happens and the cameras are rolling, this is what I find crazy. It's 2023. Everybody has at least a $1,200 phone, right? Everybody has 4K to 8K on their phone. Why are we not seeing any priests doing what do they do? Possession revival. What is it? I forgot what it's called now. They're not doing, like, we don't see that. We saw it way back in the day, but today's day and age, if that's real, like, I feel like we should have a lot more video of it, and so I want that. Possess me. I want to be possessed. 100% Hollywood style, but in real life.
Nice. That way you can conjure yourself up to haunt yourself.
That is it. Yeah. And then I'm good to go. I'll conjure myself up through the Ouija board on my chest while possessed to just keep going.
You're a crazy dude, man. 1 minute to go. Tell us where we could find your videos, your information, and everything about your investigations. So yeah, if you go to pretty much anything on Instagram or Facebook, just type in The Real Stephen Erkintalo. Sadly, my page did get a lot of, my pages have all got permanently deleted, like whatever, because of the system. But look up The Real Stephen Erkintalo. You can go to my YouTube and look up Stephen Erkintalo or Superior Paranormal. I did get kicked out of my account on YouTube, so I do not upload any new videos there, but you will see the drowning technique. You could see the thing I talked about where I hang myself. You can also look up haunted tours, and I think a lot of that's on YouTube now, where I put the gun in my mouth laid on the train tracks. Yes, you can look up all that. It's all there. Every bit of it. I feel like I'm missing something, but I don't think I am at the same time. But I would just do that. The Real Stephen Erkintalo for Instagram, for Facebook. Yeah, I get real personal on there. So don't, it's not all just paranormal. Just keep that in mind. Stephen Erkintalo for YouTube, and look up haunted tours, Superior Paranormal. And I think that's about it. I don't have a TikTok. It got permanently deleted, but that's it. Oh, that's all right, my man. Thank you so much for joining us on Spaced Out Radio. Steve Erkintalo. Coming up next, we're going among the missing. Then Super Duke is here for the short cryptid report. Spaced Out Radio continues right after this. Stay tuned. Great job, buddy. Great job.
Thank you.
It was a lot of
Thank you. I
fun.
love that. Thank you. I love the questions, man. You really like had me stumped. I froze for a little bit. I'm not that kind of guy. I like to ramble, as you can tell. I'm like, oh man, they got me. What do I do? What do I say? But I love that. I love it so much.
We appreciate you, man. Thank you for taking the time for our audience, okay? And we'll do it again soon.
Let's not make it another 2 years, though.
Okay. No,
All
not
right,
at all. Not at all.
right,
All right, brother. You take care, okay? Be safe.
Later. Thank you. You too.
Bye-bye. Love him. Love that guy. Great dude. I'm going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Hope you guys enjoyed that mega woo. That was some serious woo time right there. Excuse me. Yep. Good times, man. Good times. Hi, dirty filth. Random Gee. Oh, yeah. Very nice. Very nice. Thank you for the super chat, Random Gee, along with Nancy H., W. Decker, Izzy Stradlin, Obi Flett, Louie, Cat Chaser ×3, Deb, Derek, Donnie, and Lara. Thank you for the love. 2 weeks tonight. We're in Vegas, man. We are in Vegas, hamming it up for the fan party. Can't wait to see you all there. It's going to be a blast. Absolute blast. Hey, we bring the peak woo every now and again. Atomic woo, that's right. Hot Tamale, are you coming to Vegas? Are you joining us there? If you are coming to Vegas, check your email. I have sent all of our fans an email earlier today to give you the down low of what we are doing, what's planned. So that way you have a schedule, or as the Brits would say, schedule. Here we go, everyone.
Would you like to connect with us? Head to spacedoutradio.com for all your latest show info. Now, back to Dave Scott and SOR.
Third and final hour of Spaced Out Radio tonight. My name is Dave Scott. Very much appreciate earning your listening ears wherever you are on this beautiful planet we call Earth. Hello to everyone listening in on our terrestrial affiliates around North America, digitally on Odyssey Radio, TalkStream Live, and KPNL. All of our archives are free. Join us, will you, at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do old Davey the favor, hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. Calamist. Calamist is your password. Use it wisely, Space Travelers, as the Clam sets the password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Our website is spacedoutradio.com. We have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot, read the news wire, check out our swag as well. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio, Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show, and on TikTok at Spaced Out Radio. It is that time of the night where we go looking for the missing. Steve Stockton from Among the Missing has another creepy story.
Hello, friends. Welcome to Among the Missing YouTube channel on Spaced Out Radio. I'm Steve Stockton, and I'm about to take you on an unbelievable journey of people just like you. Their stories and encounters will haunt us on Among the Missing. The disappearance of Henry McCabe is a mysterious case that has puzzled investigators and the public alike. Henry McCabe, a Liberian immigrant who lived in Minnesota, vanished in September 2015 after a night out with friends. Despite an extensive investigation, no one has been able to determine what happened to him. Henry McCabe was born on October 31st, 1976 in Liberia. He grew up in the city of Monrovia and attended the University of Liberia, where he earned a degree in economics. In 1999, he fled his home country due to the ongoing Civil War and eventually settled in Minnesota with his wife and children. In Minnesota, McCabe worked as an auditor for the Minnesota Department of Revenue. He was described as a hardworking and dedicated employee who was well liked by his colleagues. McCabe was also known for his love of music and was an avid DJ in his spare time. The disappearance. On the night of September 7th, 2015, Henry McCabe went out with two friends, William Kennedy and Jeanette Lynette, to celebrate the Labor Day weekend. The trio visited several bars in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area, including the 400 Sound Bar in the city of Spring Lake Park. According to Kennedy and Lynette, McCabe began acting strangely after they left the 400 Sound Bar. They said that McCabe became paranoid and believed that someone was following them. At one point, he even climbed over a fence and ran into a wooded area. Kennedy and Lynette eventually convinced McCabe to return to their car, and they drove to a nearby gas station. While at the gas station, McCabe made a series of phone calls to his wife, which was described as incoherent and rambling. In one of the calls, he reportedly said, "I'm sorry, I think I'm going to die." After the phone calls, McCabe got out of the car and ran into a nearby wooded area. Kennedy and Lynette tried to follow him, but were unable to keep up. They eventually lost sight of him and called the police to report him missing. The investigation into Henry McCabe's disappearance was extensive and involved multiple law enforcement agencies. The police searched the wooded area where McCabe was last seen, but they found no signs of him. They also searched nearby bodies of water and conducted aerial searches, but they came up empty-handed. The police also reviewed CCTV footage from the gas station and surrounding areas. The footage showed McCabe running into the wooded area, but it did not provide any clues as to his whereabouts. The police interviewed McCabe's friends and family members and searched his home and workplace for any clues. They found no evidence of foul play or anything that would suggest that McCabe had planned to disappear. In October 2015, a woman who lived near the wooded area where McCabe was last seen reported hearing blood-curdling screams on the night of his disappearance. However, the police were unable to confirm whether the screams were related to McCabe's disappearance. In November of 2015, a jogger found a body in a pond near the area where McCabe was last seen. However, that body was not McCabe's, and the police were unable to determine the identity of the deceased. Now, McCabe's body was found in a pond and was ruled by the coroner that drowning was the cause of death. However, there are several theories surrounding McCabe's disappearance and death, including just that, the accidental drowning, that was the official cause of death, leading some to believe that he did indeed accidentally fall into the pond while intoxicated and drown. Foul play. Some believe that McCabe was the victim of foul play and his death was not accidental. There are several reasons for this theory, including the fact that McCabe's phone was found on a highway miles away from where his body was found, and the fact that his body showed signs of trauma, including blunt force injuries to his head. Still, others believe it was a drug-related incident. There are rumors, unsubstantiated, that McCabe may have been involved in drug use or even drug dealing, which could have led to his disappearance and subsequent death. And there have even been those that suggested that McCabe may have taken his own life, although there is little to no evidence to support this theory. Despite several investigations into McCabe's disappearance and death, no one has been charged in connection with the case. However, on the night that he disappeared, his wife received an unusual voicemail from McCabe. It's never been released in its entirety, but here is what has been released to the public. A warning here. This is very, very disturbing. Listener discretion is advised. Well, there you have it. What do you think, considering what you've just heard there, actually happened to Henry McCabe? I look forward to your comments, Wandering Wanderers. I'm Steve Stockton, and I'll talk to you next time.
Steve Stockton from Among the Missing, really putting the goosebumps down our back once again, and we thank him for another great story here on Spaced Out Radio. If you want more, head over to youtube.com/Among the Missing. All of his videos are free. Yeah, you can listen to them night and day, anytime. They're right there for you. All right, from the missing people to the forests of Montana, it is that time once again where we call on our Super Duke for the Cryptid Report. Super Duke for World Bigfoot Radio. How you doing, buddy?
I'm back.
It's always good to have you here, my man. Always.
Always more articulate than Ozzy Osbourne, always more alive than Lemmy Kilminster, and with better hair than Dave Mustaine. Once again, I'm here.
Good for you. Good for you. Now, this is the shortened version of the Cryptid Report this week, but tell us what you got for us.
Well, I got some reports from the native tribes, and Just a reminder for you, I sent you a really cool music video that you need to check out that's got the greatest guitar battle ever recorded on it. And that video has not been available for over 10 years. It's been taken down. Somebody had a copy of it and reposted it. Clearly, the people that own the rights haven't noticed yet because it's only got like 70 views. So you might want to look at that while you still can. I took the precaution of downloading it this time so it's not going to disappear for another 10 years. And yeah, truly amazing. If you guys are wondering what I'm talking about, it's a video called Ghost in the Ruins. It's got the vocalist from former epic Florida metal band Sabotage, and then two of my friends are doing lead guitar battles, and they're both just ridiculously amazing. So anyway, on to the Bigfoot stuff. They aren't always the quiet ones. The Wild Man, a New Halem Wild Man story. The people of Tillamook County were drying fish up in the New Halem River in Oregon when they heard a noise. The brush was crackling loudly. They knew no wind or common animal could be making that kind of noise. They hurried into their canoes and crossed over to the other side of the river. They forgot their little dog. They crawled into a hiding place and lay down to listen. Their little dog barked and barked, then suddenly was quiet. Then they heard a terrific noise as a wild man knocked down one side of the house where they were drying fish. Then it became quiet as he must have gone back into the woods. They could not sleep, they were so frightened, although they knew it was such a deep river he would be unable to wade it, so probably not come across. The next day one fellow went over in a canoe to have a look. Sure enough, one side of that large house that they had used to dry fish was smashed to pieces. The dog was laying there dead, and Wild Man's huge tracks were all around. That fellow came back and told the village people, "Yes, I saw the tracks." They put all their belongings in their fishing canoes and left that place for good. They would not live there any more for fear he might come again, and that no one would camp on that side of the river ever again. True story. Robert J. Frank's 1990 New Halem Tillamook Tales is where that came from. And in this one I'll probably mispronounce because I don't live far enough north. It looks like hare, but it's probably pronounced hari. Indians share with the Lasho tribe the distinction of being the northernmost red-skinned natives in North America, their habitat being directly south of the Alaskan Eskimos. Their territory extends from Fort Norman on the Great Mackenzie River west of Great Bear Lake to the confines of the Eskimos not far from the Arctic Ocean. The Haris are said to call the creature resembling Bigfoot simply Bushman or Brushman. And there are less than 600 of these tribesmen left in that territory. They regard the Bushmen as males, usually, who've lost their way, and in ancient times storytellers said the Bushmen used to steal women and children. Some say they ate the men and raised the children. The Bushman dwellings were generally in ice caves or underground. Nobody really knew where they lived. Living together without women throughout the winter months with no fire, but eating fresh meat cached through the warmer months, caribou and elk skins have been found cached along with other skins of small mammals. The local people say the Bushmen communicate with a whistle. Therefore it is taboo for them to whistle, or it might bring the Bushmen to their villages. And that comes up a lot. There's always that taboo about don't whistle when you're in the woods, and that's why, because they whistle and it'll attract them. Larry Yin is one of the elder Indian terms for Bushmen. According to them, the Bushmen are anthropomorphic beings who roam the bush country during the summer, kidnap without conscience. By anthropomorphic, Dr. Hiroko Suhara meant the attribution of human characteristics or behavior to their sacred god. Some of the locals consider these creatures to be men who lost their way, while others believe these men were transformed into evil dwellers of the wilds, which is sort of similar to the Wendigo thing. Both Indians of the neighboring tribes and the white men are believed to have become Bushmen. Since various Indians stopped their fighting wars, there have been very few Indian Bushmen, they note. And then we get down to the Gwich'in, the Black Giants. A truly wonderful leather-faced Gwich'in Indian family, while fishing the mighty Bonnet Plume River in Canada's Yukon Territory, spoke of a black giant. It is a term frequently used in unpopulated areas. He, and they always say he because seeing female black giants is rare for some unknown reason, was described as better than 8 feet tall, tracks measuring twice a woman's length that led to rocky crevices. There, where the creature lived a solitary life, it rarely showed his face in winter. It was holed up with his cache of stored food. The rest of the year they might be seen any place from marshy areas to outer city limits, especially fishing communities. Preferred their own kindred, each avoiding the other. What scared the Gwich'in couple the most? Hearing a whistle. Even when friends whistled, they stopped everything. To them, it's a call to the black giant, to his female. The Indians also listened to the alarm call of birds and what each alarm call indicated. One bird in their territory is capable of mimicking at least 40 other birds. It's a gray catbird. It also mimics the bushman, or the black giant, and vice versa. And that one kind of freaked me out when I read it, because we had local ravens here that were doing... It sounded exactly like the samurai chatter on the Sierra sounds. And they flew over us doing it, and we're like, okay, you guys are good at mimicking sounds. Where exactly did you hear that one? So now we get to the Chickasaw Lofa. Chickasaw Indian legends mention a creature that was smelly and covered in a long coat. The Lofa was said to be a hairy being that could speak a language. The Chickasaw, while being a relatively small, peaceful tribe, occupied and claimed large hunting areas in parts of Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Oklahoma, and Kentucky. The Lofa were first mentioned in the journals of Spanish explorer Hernando de Soto in 1540. So, yeah, there's an old Bigfoot report. When his expedition spent the winter with the Chickasaw, severely abusing the Chickasaw hospitality until the Indians had had enough and slaughtered the Spaniards. The Lofa is recorded as a living haired giant in De Soto's journals, defined as something like a giant man. Explorer De Soto writes at length about a giant in what is now Alabama. And you may have heard this one's name before. By all accounts, Tuscaloosa was an enormous man. He was very tall of body, large-limbed, lean, and well-built. Even the term Bidma, the terse Bidma said it was his opinion of most that Tuscaloosa was a giant. Tuscaloosa was so huge that when he ordered a saddle horse to ride with De Soto, no horse was big enough to carry him. Instead, he had to settle for one of De Soto's larger pack horses. Tuscaloosa ruled southern Alabama region for only a short time, but archaeological clues suggest most of central Alabama was dominated by giants until the year 1450. And this fits in with the mound builders and the whole giant civilization along the Mississippi. The journals do not tell us if these giants were haired or not, but with the giants in other states, it may be a partial reason for some Sasquatches to obtain the height they do, if we buy into the thought that they crossbred. Tuscaloosa, of course, is modern-day Tuscaloosa, Alabama. And then we come to the Paiute Nation. The Northern Paiute call themselves the Numa or Numu. The word Numic, or spelling variations of Nunamic, refer to the ancient Paiute Indian terminology for the hairy man who lives on the mountain in and around the Owens Valley, in the eastern Sierra range of central California. Paiute Indian term Nunamic describes a tall, hair-covered timber giant that was said to have roamed the Owens Valley several hundred years ago. Some say it still lives there in the nearby Sierra Mountain Range. I have the following early examples. Example 1, Owens Valley, California. Several, including John Clark, Paul Mittergreen, Jack Farrell, reported a large, shaggy beast roaming the foothills of Round Valley. Clark came upon the creature asleep and tried to lasso it, but it woke up and ran off yelling. Mittergreen fainted when he saw it coming towards him. Jack Farrell hunted it, and on March 25th came upon it feeding. He fired 5 rounds into it, but it came for him anyway. His horse broke 2 legs in its mad escape, and Jack Farrell was bruised. And number 2, the setting is in the Owens Valley near Independence, California in the middle 1800s. Large human tracks were seen one morning in some of the moist earth near the mill at San Carlos, the bare feet being distinctly impressed therein. Measurements showed the foot to be 18 inches long, with the breadth at the toes being about 6, the stride being about 6 feet, and apparently made while walking, not running. After an interval of a few days, the tracks were seen again one morning, and after a like interval, the remarkable impressions were made for a third time. At the same time, the footprints were repeatedly seen at Bend City and at what is now the ghost town of Chrysopolis, a settlement on the east bank of the Owens River around the time of the Civil War in 1860. There was no one, white, black, yellow, or red, known to have a foot anywhere near so big. Indians, when shown the footprint, then asked if they knew who made them, wisely shrugged their shoulders and said, "No see with eyes," and with a wave of the hand towards the Inyo range said, "He lives there." They acted in a strange and odd manner. I often wondered about the matter, never arriving at any solution, but the incidents afforded a boundless field for speculation. Certain it is, there was abundant material for legend. Number 3. An informant from Big Pine, California, wrote to record her grandfather, Brunner Bergman, was a miner in 1933. In his notebook is mentioned of, quote, a wild man that tore the hide from Johnny U's pack mule and killed his dog, unquote, while he was descending from the Jane Mine during a snowstorm on the eastern slopes of Mount Whitney, which, of course, is the tallest mountain in California in the lower 48. 4. In 1958, the Princely Press reported Miss Otto Martinez became a widow after a trail of large footprints of a strange beast were found around her husband's abandoned pack train south of Mystery Meadow. The contents of the packs were, however, undisturbed. 5. A murder was reported 2 years prior at Horseshoe Meadow. The mules were discovered grazing near the old cottonwood sawmill. The 2 deceased men found unarmed. One had his skull crushed, the other gent with his neck snapped backwards. The perpetrator left scuff marks and 1 foot marking of extraordinary size. One of the Paiute hired hands discovered the grisly scene and reported the miners stood no chance against the timber giant. Quote, when I walked out onto the meadow, I noticed the chirping warning of a half a dozen squirrels and knew there was something afoot, unquote. The Paiute man would not accompany the investigators back to the scene, but provided a map to the region. Quotation Jackson Tailgate, 1995. Pahizoho is a much older Paiute term for Bigfoot in the California Sierras. The term describes a red-haired giant, much like the Seneca of Lovelock Cave. The look has been described as human, not like an ape, and not all of them were hairy all over either. Some are so sparsely haired that they could pass for oversized human men, and not all of them are giant-sized, especially in the eastern Sierras. So that doesn't sound exactly like there's a Bigfoot. There's maybe some kind of other giant or hybrid thing going on there. Man, we got enough time for another one?
We got about 1 minute here.
Let's read fast. Choctaw native hears metal beam snapping. In 2005, Choctaw native Billy Ludlow of Enobia, Oklahoma, became a staunch believer in Bigfoot 54 years earlier at age 11 when he encountered a bipedal creature on the Little River. Ludlow and 2 playmates were goofing around one Sunday night after church when they heard metal beams snapping on the unfinished bridge above the river. Quote, I looked up and saw this large hairy animal stand up on 2 legs like a man, said Ludlow. I guess it to be 9 or 10 feet tall at the time, with broad shoulders and hair all over. I was always the slowest runner when it came to my friends, but on that night, I was the fastest. We ran to my grandmother's cabin and slammed the door shut. It was chasing us. Something came and pushed the door 2 or 3 times, and then it went away. I know they were out there. And there you go.
Love it.
Bigfoot reports.
We absolutely love it. We encourage all of our listeners to head on over to every social media platform except Facebook. Dookie doesn't like Facebook. All right, MeWe, YouTube, Rumble, you name it, he's everywhere. That's why we call him Super Duke. Always does his show with a cape. Super that way. Thank you, Super Duke. Appreciate it. When we return on Spaced Out Radio, time to get off my lawn. Dave 101 night, and we'll have the weird, strange news coming up after. We'll be right back. Super Duke. That was a good one.
Oh, there were some scary ones in there. That whole thing with the Seneca and their behavior. It's like, I'm not sure you're talking about Sasquatch there. Those things are pretty vicious.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm about to make my cool hat even cooler. One of my friends down in Louisiana sent me some. They sent me 2 Indian arrowheads that they found in the woods. One of them's a typical hunting arrowhead. It's got one side of it has been snapped off apparently during the impact, when it either hit the prey or missed, one or the other. But there it was. And then the other one is a really hard to find bird point. They're just teeny. They're about like that long, and it's like a little needle point of rock flat on one side and then flaked off on the other 2 sides. So I'm going to put that on the front of my hat and have that one right there.
Very nice.
Really hard to get. Really, really hard to get. I got an expert that runs around the woods down there in Louisiana all the time that found them for me. You could say he spends virtually all his time in the woods, so he's really good at finding stuff. So anyway, love you guys, and we'll see you next Tuesday. Don't miss the show this weekend. We've got Blaine Tyler and the Folk Monster. When Blaine Tyler found the Folk Monster. That's on this weekend.
Awesome, buddy. You have a great night, okay?
Take care. Love you guys. And yeah, Kreider on both our shows next week. Hell yeah!
Good old Super Duke right there. Luscious Jules, how you feeling? Are you still in hospital? Give us an update. I shall wait for that update. Oh, good. Glad you're at home. Glad you're at home, my beauty. I'm the only one here. Hey, Spacey Tree. Where'd everybody go? It's so lonely sometimes. It is. I'm so lonely. Lonely. Do, do. Do, do. Oh, Max Stacks, I know. I know. Dave shaved his face. Dave even cut his hair today. Look how short that is. Jason Pearl, how you doing, buddy? Thank you, Luscious Jules. Mama Susan's gonna. Oh, she likes it. She likes a new look. Well, it's actually an old look, but it's a new look. See, my hair is so thick. This way, when my hair is short like that, I can actually wear a hat. We rounded third. We're heading for home tonight on Spaced Out Radio. Good to have you with us. My name is Dave Scott. Very much appreciate earning your listening ears. Reminder to all of you that if you missed most of this show or others, check out our free archives by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do old Davey the favor. Hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com. We have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot, read the news wire, check out our swag as well. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio, Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show, and on TikTok at Spaced Out Radio. It is that time of the night where I'm about to give my opinion, so get off my lawn. It's Dave 101.
It's time for Dave 101.
Open up the door, it's Dave! Dave, D-A-V-E! Dave's not here! Dave's the killer! Yeah! Dave's the killer! Dave's a mess!
All right, last night we had Random Guy talk about a story about Chris Mellon, the former Assistant Secretary of Defense in the United States. Very pro-UFO. Yes, even though he's a UAP guy. But here he was defending the fact that aliens and extraterrestrials and UFOs could be very, very well real after Sean Kirkpatrick, the head of the Arrow program, the guy who's supposed to be the guru of everything UAP, said, well, we have no evidence that aliens are here or UFOs are real. Mellon came out and put out a 6-tweet diatribe on this. So we're going to read that for you again. He said, Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick's no credible evidence of objects that defy the known laws of physics. Follows up with 5 more tweets. U.S. Naval Aviator Chad Underwood. Aircraft still have to obey the law of physics. The Tic Tac was not doing that. It was going from like 50,000 feet to, 100 feet in seconds, which is not possible. Tweet number 3. U.S. Navy Aviator Dave Fravor. After encounter with reported Tic Tac, I think it was not of this world. Tweet 4. Explore SCU, report on Nimitz incident. Estimated accelerations range from 75 Gs to more than 5,000 Gs. The average human can do about 6 to 7. A fighter pilot can go up to 9. With no observed air disturbance, no sonic booms, and no evidence of excessive heat commensurate with even the minimal estimated energies. Tweet 5 of 6. According to Kevin Day, instruments on the USS Princeton, the Tic Tac fell exactly 0.78 seconds, which means the object had to be moving about 24,000 miles per hour. And the final tweet, although what really happened on November 14th, 2004 is and perhaps never will be resolved with much confidence, for Dr. Kirkpatrick to go so far as to claim there is no credible evidence of objects that defy the known laws of physics is disingenuous at best. Corroborating reports from multiple serious military witnesses are not proof, but they are credible evidence. Bingo. The reason why I reread this is because we know we're being played. If you don't believe we're being played in the UFO field, Well, it's time to open up your eyes and actually see what's going on in reality. And there is a big, big argument going on because there's still a number of people out there who disagree with what I'm saying, that UAP are man-made, UFOs, they have no clue. And I'm still standing on the soapbox preaching that one. Like I said, you don't have to believe me, but that's the way it looks. And when it smells like roses, looks like roses, it's probably roses. And UFOs are roses. UAP, they're those stinky little plants that nobody wants in their garden. Yeah, you know the ones. So it always seems to come back to science. It really does. And a lot of the scientists out there don't like this woo stuff. They don't like the woo. They don't want anything to do with the woo, the extraordinary experiences, the alien abductions, the orbs that are flying around, people waking up at the foot of their bed and seeing alien grays hanging out there. Yeah, that's for you, random guy. All right. But people are having experiences. How do you explain it? Because not everybody is having mental breakdowns or bouts of psychosis or anything along those lines that may be construed as mental damage. No. People are recalling exactly what's happening to them. Now, the human mind is very, very suggestive. You may see a scary movie, and all of a sudden you have a nightmare with that same creature or something of that like that really, really draws your attention. If you're watching a documentary on aliens, there's a good chance that you are going to dream about aliens that night. But this is why I really appreciated Trey Hudson, who we had on as a guest. This is a former member of the military where he carried top secret clearance. This is a man who retired from the government and the DOD after 34 years. This is a man who has been searching for Sasquatch, ghosts, UFOs, and everything in between. But what he and his team do is they are able to combine the science with the woo. And much like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, you can't have peanut butter without the jelly. None of that marmalade crap, because that stuff's disgusting. Who eats marmalade, by the way? I think there's an age limit on that you got to be a minimum of 70 years old to like marmalade. I say that to my dad all the time because he likes marmalade. Lo and behold, though, we have to combine both the science and the experience. You don't have to believe the experience. It's anecdotal evidence. It's never going to be 100%. But it is a good piece to the puzzle in where we want to solve these problems. And the beautiful part about it is that the Meadow Project that Trey Hudson and his team are working on, which also includes Jessica Jones from our Off the Trail show on the weekends, they are working on something with both. They really are. And they are getting results. They're using high-tech camera gear, high-tech FLIRs, high-tech computers in order to track what's going on. They videotape and camera and record everything. And then they all let the woo do the talking. They do the walking with the science. The woo does the talking. And that's how they're able to get results steadily. Why hasn't other groups of scientists picked up on this fact? Why are they afraid to not use the woo? Why are they so dismissive of the experience that is happening? Ego, tenure, government grants, just to name a few. But Trey Hudson and his group, they are proving that with one, you need the other. You need both. And as we have stated on this show many a time, the people who have had the experiences, although it's not scientific, and trust me, I know very little about science. I am very, very inept when it comes to the science or how things are built. But I'm trying to learn. And one of the things that I have learned is the scientific road will never solve this mystery alone. You need the pieces of the puzzle in order to finish the puzzle. The experiencers, whether the science or the government likes it or not, is a part of this puzzle. Why? Think of the downloads. Think of the shapes. Think of the communication. Some people being able to summon. Shouldn't that be studied as well? I think it should. If you're dealing with something unconventional, why not try unconventional experiments? What's the old saying? If you do everything the same but expect different results, that's a form of lunacy. So where are they missing it? Why is it so hard for them to track it down? Gary Nolan seems to be doing a great job. The Stanford University professor who has a laboratory in his name, he's looking into the effects on the brain regarding UFO and ET contact. And he's getting some very unconventional results, from radiation to memory loss to memory gain. He's pushing the envelope, which is what a scientist really is supposed to do. Now, a lot of these scientists who are looking into this, we must preface, are also contractors to the United States government. Whether they work for the government, an alphabet agency, or one of the 6 pillars of the military branches. There's a bias towards the military side. And for Sean Kirkpatrick to sit there and say there is no evidence is baffling. Makes you wonder if he really wants to do his job, or he's preparing for retirement from the government regarding this subject, that he wants to get into the private corporations where the real money is, where you can sit there and give an opinion for more than $250,000 a year. It's a big paycheck to give away. And why should he? But that doesn't mean that the evidence isn't there. The overall picture, I would tell you, is that they are wanting us to go away. They don't want Dave Scott to have Spaced Out Radio. They don't want other radio podcasts or YouTube channels looking into this. They don't want MUFON around. They don't want the reports, unless they go to Enigma Labs. They don't want anything to do with the public regarding this subject. They do not care. It also opens up the question as to why don't they care? Why are they pushing the experiences away? That's easy. Because we're talking. We want to know what happened to us, and we're getting braver by the minute. But for the rest of them, get the subject out of here. Could it be due to retrofitting these spacecraft that have allegedly crashed? Trying to reenact how they propelled themselves? How many craft are there? We don't know. Speculation? 9, 10, 11? We don't know. But we keep going in circles, trying to rehash the same stories. It's like everybody won't drop the Bob Lazar story. Let it go. It means nothing. We got to put the pressure on where the pressure needs to be on. Sean Kirkpatrick not doing his job is one. Ignoring evidence, which has been ignored through NASA, SETI, the government agencies, that's two. Unless they don't want to give up the secrets. What are those secrets? Aliens, alien contact, crash retrievals, restoring the craft to the best of our primitive scientific knowledge. It's all of them. So yes, if you're learning about this field and you want to learn how to do it properly, don't follow the government ways. They always take the long route. They are never about the public. They are never about giving you the information. They don't care. What they do care about is keeping you silent. That's why it's so important for us to follow the work of groups like Trey Hudson's or David Weatherly, Joshua Cutchin, Timothy Renner, to name a few. Grant Cameron, another great one. Richard Dolan, another great one. Keep pushing. That's your Dave 101. If you have a comment and you're listening on our YouTube channel, leave a comment below. Tell us what you think. We'd greatly appreciate it. And now, let us get to the news.
What time is it?
It's time for Shirky Poo's news!
A woman who suffered a traumatic brain injury in her 20s says she now suffers from near-death experiences about 3 times a month, has met Jesus Christ and Walt Disney because of it. 57-year-old Beverly Gilmore of England says doctors have diagnosed her with a disorder of consciousness, a term normally used to refer to a person being in a coma or vegetative state. She said that during these times, she feels her own heart stopping and her body beginning to shut down before having an out-of-body experience where she can feel herself leaving. From there, she says she's been able to interact with spirits of dead people, including Walt Disney, while she also met Jesus himself. Gilmore says that she has a private relationship with Jesus and is spiritualistic, but not religious. He was showing stories, and when I met him there was an amazing building, and the wood felt alive and well-preserved, she said, of her meeting with Walt Disney. When I came back, I would go back into a trance and write down his stories and draw pictures of everything he showed me. He showed me these characters, and I became one of his characters and lived out one of his stories. I would sit and listen to him, and he would appear with these characters, and he would tell me the names of the characters and their personalities and what they did in life, where they came from, and their origins. Gilmore also said that she has met her deceased parents, saying that the first time she met her dad's spirit, he looked 52, while the next time he looked 30. She claims he told her, "Learn to do as you were told," while she asked him whether he had any information on the lottery numbers to share, and said it can often take her some time to make sense of what she sees during her near-death experiences. No, she didn't get the lottery numbers. A number of people have said they've seen glimpses of the other side during NDEs, with people describing what they saw in vivid detail. However, according to scientific research from California Institute of Technology, chances of there being a life after death are essentially zilch, which is a bit disappointing. They were hoping to pick Walt Disney's brain for a new movie idea. See, I disagree with that study. I do. Because at Johns Hopkins University, they are actually studying near-death experiences. It doesn't make sense. Does not make sense at all. Moving on. An Oregon man let it rain, and people are still looking for the cash he splashed around. Yeah. Oregon State Police say a man threw about $200,000 in cash out of his car window in Interstate Eugene earlier this month. They still haven't collected it all. it was supposed to be part of an inheritance for the family. We read that one last week, I think. What's this one? Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, hold on. Yeah, how come this story is old? Supposed to be in the news section. Sorry about that. Let's go to this one here. An Arizona mother ended up in a hospital but managed to save her 2 children from a bee attack during a family photo shoot. The Arizona Fire and Medical Authority said the attack took place in the Buckeye Valley area recently. The mom, who has not been identified, rushed her children into a nearby car before taking the brunt of the stings. The mother was stung more than 75 times, according to AFMA. She was transported to a local hospital and has since recovered. The mother's quick thinking saved the children from being stung. Crews then used foam to calm down the bees before rescuing kids from the car. Please hurry, my daughters can't get in the car. She's being attacked by bees, the woman's mother said in a clip that was released on 911. Oh, that would be scary. Absolutely frightening. 3 men have been arrested for stealing a large crocodile in South Africa. Yeah, the Nile crocodile, which is about $1,300 from a farm. Or 13. Oh, really? Anyways, the men who were alleged to this crime were 20 and 35, believed to have used a pickup truck to take the animal from a croc farm about 200 kilometers or 124 miles west of Johannesburg. The crocodile was found tied up with rope and wire in an abandoned farmhouse. The men had covered it up with tree branches in an attempt to hide it from police. They also found the pickup truck. The men were arrested last week and due to appear in court about why they stole a crocodile. Maybe they wanted to make wallets, belts, or something. Have good crocodile wings. Who knows? Anyways, that is your show for tonight. Thank you to Stephen Erkintalo. Thank you to Super Duke. Thank you to Steve Stockton from Among the Missing for making this a wonderful night. We got Mr. Ron Bubblefoot Thal rocking in the background with Little Brother Is Watching. Bubblefoot is the official music of Spaced Out Radio. Rocking us in and out of every single show. Get your horns up for the guitar god himself. Special thanks to everybody listening in at work, at home, in your cars, wherever you may be. Thank you to everyone in our chat rooms tonight. YouTube, Twitch, LGAP, Facebook, Spreaker, LinkedIn, the Space Travelers Club, and on Twitter at hashtag Spaced Out Radio. Remember, this show is copyright by Spaced Out Radio and SOR Media Ventures Limited. Thank you so much for choosing to share your evening with us, because together, my friends, we're watching. We own the night. Mr. Bumblefoot, we need a favor. We need you to take us home. Yes, the Woo Train has docked for the night. But soon, my friends, we shall ride again. Your seats are always available. Your tickets never expire. And if you want to bring a friend, we've got room for you too. Good night. All right. Give me 2 seconds here. Having a little bit of an update. There we go. Perfect. Hiya, everyone. Hey, 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 hey. It's Fat Albert. Mm-hmm. Hi, Monica. Monica. Scrub it up, dub. How are you, buddy? Why are we talking election stuff in my chat room? Was that erased, guys? Let's make sure that it was. Weird. What the heck is going on here? All right, we're good. All right. Hi, Jules. Dave, how did you find or meet the guest tonight? Just a fan of his. Then when you interview him, he's like balls out all the time. Okay, what am I doing here? Let's go like this. Oh yeah, he was he's out there, Jenny. He is out there. Like that. Oh. There we go. There we go. Let it go. Cool. All right, let's close that out. Close that out. Mm-hmm. Go like this. I do have to edit one minor problem. I Jedi, you need a hug tonight. You want Davey to hug you? Davey will hug you. Davey will give you love. Do you need some Dave love? Hi, Mystic's Walk. My mummy's 80th birthday today. F you, President Zadi. Yep. Can't believe my mom is 80. Holy cow. Mom is doing about as good as she can. She's tired. She's always tired. I'm going to go down tomorrow, well, Saturday, we're going to celebrate. Going to sing her happy birthday. Give her a big kiss on the cheek. Like, happy birthday, Phil. Oh, thank you. Thank you. It's kind of hard to think, like my mother's health and everything that's going on. I just lost an uncle 2 weeks ago. Almost 2 weeks ago now. Yeah. It's kind of weird watching these people that have been there forever all of a sudden just starting to, people that you looked at as pillars of strength. All of a sudden they're weak. It'll happen to us all, but I hope when it's my time that I am able to be a burden in someone's soul. My kids drop me off in an old folks' home. Probably in another 10 years. Any questions for old Davey? No, there is never a reason, people, to eat marmalade. Ever. Mike Bothwell, do you plan on making like a film series or vlog type thing about the gifting site? Yes and no. Yes and no. It may turn into that. I have to be careful with my words right now because there's something special coming up soon, which I'll fill you all in on when I have time. Old Davy, probably since I was like 30. Old Davy the Favor. And that's OLE, not old. Old Davy. Seriously, how can some of you people, you guys, hold on a second, you guys razz the hell out of me for not eating breakfast foods for dinner. And then some of you are going to admit that you actually eat marmalade. There's just no trust in this world anymore. Who do you trust now? The people you think you know them. Next thing you know, they're putting marmalade on toast. Let me ask you this. Let's talk about a whole breakfast function here for a second. Because there's something out there I don't understand. It's people who put butter on their toast and then cover it with jam or peanut butter or honey. What do you need the butter on there first if the jam, peanut butter, or honey is going on, which is going to moisten the bread? I think that's weird. That has always been a pet peeve of mine. Why do you need to butter your toast only to put jam on there? The jam will do the exact same thing. I'm just saying. That's a whole lot of seriously wrong with you. If you got to put butter on before the jam, peanut butter, or honey. Just saying. I don't know if I can trust you. See, I'm not saying I don't like butter on toast. Because if you sprinkle a little cinnamon on there with toast and butter, it tastes wonderful. It does. Just saying. I'll be right back. You guys discuss that amongst yourselves. Did my chair move? Hi, Jedi. You've been here enough, man. You know the rules. This is the escape, man. It's not that we deny it's not happening. Just this is the escape. Do 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 do. Hey, Jeff, Steve Garvey. There goes my hero. Watch him as he goes. I'm not a Nutella fan either. Definitely not a Nutella fan. Jeez, that's a nice car you sent a picture of, Andrew Fricker. Commonwealth Andrew, that's good stuff. Really? We have another storm coming. Thank you, Jeff Steve Garvey. Appreciate that, my man. Sad you're not going to be making it to Vegas with us. I was hoping to meet you. Good night, CS. I bet you there's bugs on Mars. I bet you they find bugs. Now they might be 8-9 feet tall, but I bet you they find some sort of bug there, especially near the areas of the poles where they have a water supply. I know. I'm sad too, Forrest Louis. Thanks, Derek. Appreciate that, man. 2 weeks, buddy. 2 weeks. But we aren't censoring iJedi. We aren't censoring. We have a set of rules and guidelines for the chat room. So I'm not sure why you're arguing it. This isn't a democracy here. There's no democracy in this chat room. We make decisions on what is said and what is allowed in our chat room based on what our audience wants. Our audience doesn't want politics. They don't want election stuff. They don't want things like that because they get hammered with it all day. We are a room where people don't have to deal with that. We've been doing that for years. We're not going to change. So you've known that for a long time. You've been here long enough to know that. So I'm not sure why all of a sudden it's a problem. You know, it has nothing to do with censorship. Nobody is censoring you. We're just telling you that this is something that we don't put up with in our chat room. The rules have always been solidified. My skepticism of the government details strictly on UFOs. It has nothing to do with politics. It has nothing to do with anything to do with government policy or anything. So no, it doesn't. I have 2 dogs and 3 cats and 1 fish. The fish is my son's. My 2 older senior dogs are getting near the end, and the 3 cats, well, they don't really give a shit about me. Yeah, it's true. All right. We are done uploading for the night. Woohoo! Who's on tomorrow night? It's our Keith Andrews tomorrow night. We got more woo for you with our Keith Andrews tomorrow night in the ET Connection. Thank you tonight to Derek ×2, Cat Chaser ×3, Jeff Steve Garvey, Random Guy, Nancy H, W Decker, Izzy Stradlin, Obi Flat, Forrest Louie, Deb, Donnie, and Lara. Get ready. Keep your tinfoil on for tomorrow night because we're all going to need it. Share some if you need. Talk to you tomorrow.
Stay healthy, my friend.
You too.
You need bail money, give me a call.
Always, Dad. Take care.
You too.